possibly killed me.
On that day, Rebecca chose violence.
Yes.
I asked many a question. If you
in all fairness, like I'm taking a piss out so bad right now. In all fairness, you were arguably the only one of us who were trying to be like some kind of negotiation, like have some kind of negotiation with these guys, despite the fact we had just been stabbed a whole bunch.
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
Kirv didn't quite know that, but yes.
Hello,
Yeah,
everyone. Welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with Kat,
Hi.
Damian,
Hello?
Kirv,
Saluton.
Mortar,
Hi.
Be Chris.
Romulus,
Hello.
and Vinny.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 82, titled Oops.
Oopsie
whoopsie.
Oh, that's so
Keyword
funny.
speaking in Esperanto.
It doesn't feel so bad when you title it Oops.
There you
It
go.
really doesn't. It's almost like just a kind of casual shoulder shrug. Just
Oops.
Did I do that?
It's positive reinforcement. There you go. You're doing fine.
I don't know.
You don't deserve positive reinforcement.
We
You don't. No, we do. Chris does.
Oh.
No, I'm
Yeah,
giving
no,
it to
you
you. You don't deserve it.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yes,
you
thank you.
all
Yes,
you all
please.
murdered some
No,
poor
I'll
innocent
take it.
people
Please.
because you're all
No, please give
awful.
it back.
Okay.
No, please.
So, are we all sitting uncomfortably?
Actually, yeah, pretty uncomfortably.
Wonderful.
You know, murder don't sit right with me.
That's entirely fair. Welcome back, everyone. And it's interesting to see how things have gone. But I think we should remind ourselves of just what happened last session. Last time, our party of adventurers, Kat, Damian, Kirv, Mortar, Romulus, and Vinny, had travelled along the road after completing a little bit of their venture. They came across a tradesman on the road, one who Vinny had some recollection of who he worked for, but no other interactions were had between them, just a name, a connection to something more that he could potentially call upon. With that, the rest of the party suspecting Starlight of being a horse. Kirv learned that Eugene was otherwise involved in her backstory somehow. While things were developing, they eventually arrived at the small town of Nin'Bero. As they otherwise settled down for the night after getting some drinks, and after Mortar otherwise offending one of the locals, they otherwise went to rest, where they were stabbed, attacked and assailed during the night by commoners, dressed with illusory robes. As they stabbed down on each of the party members, they fought, striking back in self-defense and killing each of these individuals, except for Mortar, who had learnt his lesson from the party's previous complaints against the way he did things. And now we pick up there, as the innkeeper goes to where Romulus was resting, over to the body of the young giant folk, the young lady who was otherwise cut and felled by Romulus, as he begins to cry, and people in the various rooms begin to gasp at the scene of all of you covered in blood, your own and others. As you otherwise stand in this space in this moment, the situation tense, the sound of the light wind outside rushing past, you all gather yourselves, still the adrenaline beginning to fade, the calm emotions preventing you from going overboard, Kat. The rest of you are otherwise standing around in the hallway, witnessing and hearing what's going on here. Moments of panic and stress beginning to take hold, a want to flee and a want to help, with an understanding of what might happen, and also with a lack of what did happen. It's at this point where people are kind of gasping and whispering amongst themselves. One individual does kind of run down the stairs, almost making a break for it in a way. As the individual kind of runs downstairs, you can otherwise kind of hear hurried footsteps, and I'll say passive perception-wise, does anybody have a 15 or higher?
I believe
Give
I have
me a
a
moment.
16, but I will just need to double check that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I still haven't updated my passive sheet yet, so I don't actually know. Because I need to completely redo it with Mortar actually involved.
No, my passive is 14, but Terrador is outside.
Okay.
Yes, my passive is 14 also.
Was your 16 there, Mortar?
Sorry, I'm just looking now. I'll find it on the core page, right?
Yes. Core page should be in the bottom left, I think.
17.
17.
Passive perception.
So you heard, before this individual sprinted down the stairs, you heard one of the individuals who's with them otherwise whisper, "Go and get the mercenaries and the hunters. Let them know what's going on." And the individual makes a bolt for it.
Oh man. I guess I'm going to. Who looks like? Which of our party look like they're going to take the lead in terms of trying to calm people down?
Right
Does it
now,
look like any one of you? Does it look like any one of you guys are going to try to say anything?
I need to roll a dice for this. I'm just loading up tabletop.
In which case,
Yeah.
then.
Cat's
In
in
which
a
case,
room.
Oh, sorry, Vinny. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, first thing I'm going to do is cast Lesser Restoration on myself to get rid of the poison, so
Smart.
that I can think
Smart.
clearly.
good.
In which case, then I'm going to try to communicate to Romulus as subtly as I can. It's mostly through grunts and just pained breathing because I'm bleeding very badly. I'll say they're going for reinforcements, and I'm going to leave it in your hands, Romulus.
Okay. I'd like
Oh.
you to roll me a
You do
stealth
know that
check.
Romulus doesn't have any charisma, right?
Yeah, no. All I'm saying is because I know your goal right now is to protect Cat. If you have a heads up that there could be more people on the way who could pose a danger to her, I want you to know that because Cat's in a very vulnerable spot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mortar, can
I'm
I
gonna
ask
make
you
a
to make a
roll, and
stealth
I will
check for
defend
that? It will just be treated as having
yeah,
normal
certainly.
proficiency. We're not worrying about light because it's more audible stuff. Remember, you have disadvantage because
So-
you are exhausted.
That's correct. So if it's without proficiency, that would just be my.
Oh no,
death
this is
roll,
with
so that's
with
just-
proficiency. Sorry, because it's we're
It's without
ignoring
expertise.
the light situation because it's audible.
Okay, so it's a +7 then.
Okay.
Okay. In my new handy dandy area.
Yep.
Let me just. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
I gotta say, I'm very.
Ooh, disadvantage
That is
those.
a 12 + 7 is
21.
19.
Hey,
21. You're right.
what's 10 plus 9?
No, it's hold on. It's 7 + 12, wasn't it? So yeah, it was 19. Shut the fuck up.
What's 9 plus 10?
Shut the fuck up.
21.
21. Okay,
You got me all kinds of
So-
confused over it.
you otherwise say this to Romulus. Most of the people don't seem to pick up on it, but a few do, and they're almost taken aback, and they begin to usher others, maybe the other people with them, or if they're on their own, into their own room and kind of lock the doors. The mention of they're getting reinforcements may have seemed to hammer home the idea that reinforcements are against you.
Okay, I'm going to stand up, and anyone who's
I said-
still around,
I
I'm
said-
like, I've just been attacked in my bed. I would very much appreciate it if no one else attempts to harm me or my fellows. I will respond in kind.
Roll me an intimidation check.
Yeah, can I make you? I assume I'm still wearing my mantle because I assume that's what I sleep in. So can I make that with the strength bullshit?
In this instance, I would say you're able to use strength anyway due to the situation, but you wouldn't be wearing your mantle at this time because it is made of. It has got shards of bone sticking out of it, and if that is otherwise on your shoulders while you're sleeping, I am
Oh, no,
definitely
I was
giving you
thinking of-
points of exhaustion for wearing that every
Fair.
night.
I was more meaning as in at night when I lie down. That's what goes over top of me.
Oh, I
Oh,
see,
okay,
like
so
a blanket. Okay.
your blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, fair
Either
enough.
way, I'm still going to allow it because the context of this is you're threatening.
I'm
with, yeah.
fucking threatening right now. So this is with a +8 then.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Come on.
Big numbers. Really big rolls in this house.
Yeah, 21. will do.
21?
Oh, we
21?
got
Only
the
big
21
rolls.
after all.
Okay.
Hell yeah, we got there in the end.
There was already a 21 because it was 12 plus
7.
Oh,
19.
7. I thought it was 9. I was losing my brain.
Okay. I'm just rolling for the people around here. Okay. All of them bar one otherwise close their door. One individual kind of, not necessarily standing up defiantly, kind of keeps watch on what's going on. And kind of steps out of the room and almost instinctively slides between you and where your room is, where the innkeeper is. And you can see that they do have a kind of a weapon held behind their back in a defensive posture.
Is Cat's room's door open?
Yes.
Mortar is going to make his way over to it and is going to close the door and slump against the wall and just check on Cat.
Okay.
Are you okay? Hey. Look at me. Whatever this shit is, it's so fucked up. You didn't do anything wrong. This shit just came out of nowhere. Okay? Stay in the moment. Alright, remember what we said. Stay in the moment. You're okay. Just breathe.
You could tell there's like 101 different thoughts going through her head.
1,000,000%.
It's like, can we
yeah.
cover? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna go over and
Mortar
grab the
takes
blanket.
off. Mortar takes off his cloak and throws it over the body.
Okay.
And he is going to stay in there with Cat until Romulus gets here and can take over.
Okay.
I'm currently standing there, very not I have my weapon in my hand, but it is at rest but ready. If
Okay.
you know what I mean, like.
Yeah. You're being
but-
defensive, much like the other individual. The other individual in this case, in case you can see, does kind of have some form of hammer or mace behind their back.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
kind
just going to
the
say-
otherwise dark grey skin of this Orcan individual, kind of tough and grizzled to a certain extent. This individual has seen battle. You could probably take them and down them pretty quickly if you were to fight, but this individual did roll a natural 20 on their save against your intimidation, and so they're going to stand up to you.
That's very fair.
Okay, at this time, if my lesser restoration is complete, I'm going to stand up and say, kind of to this individual, but also loud enough that other people can hear it. Somebody needs to go and fetch a doctor. There's a lot of injured people here. We don't want this getting any worse than it already is.
Okay, so you shout this out. Everybody else has closed their doors to their rooms, and the innkeeper and the guy keeping guard of the innkeeper are the only two who are able to really act on this. Everyone else has been intimidated back into their rooms.
Yeah, that might have been like a mixed beneficial thing. I'm going to talk to the guy that's there. Do you know who it was that attacked us? Because we sure as hell don't.
He kind of, in that moment, not taking his eyes off you, he kind of takes a step almost back into the room in that moment. And you can continue to hear kind of the weeping of the innkeeper on the inside, who at this point kind of, with the motion of that question, almost turns his head, and you can see, staring back at you, seething anger.
I'm beginning to put the pieces together, Chris. I know what's happened here. But
boy.
just to spell it out
How-
for the class.
Out of interest, how much
Yeah,
of this
please
is
do.
Damian seeing?
Damian is currently, from this angle, you're probably seeing Romulus kind of ask this person this question. The individual in question, you recognize, not necessarily like any religious iconography or anything, but the defensive stance that is being used is something that's used in single combat between paladins most of the time in like early training years. This individual may be a paladin of some sorts, but they aren't powerful by any means.
Shit.
They aren't powerful
That's
by
still
any
pretty bad.
means. They're they're prepared. They're not wearing any armor, which suggests that, much like you, they're going to be pretty poor when it comes to AC, as they were sleeping. But you do take into account that posture. That would be the most that you pick up. You do not see the Innkeeper beyond. The only one who does is Romulus because of his position. Vinny has kind of shouted this out and said it back to the rest of the group. Mortar has otherwise slid into the room with Cat to kind of help her. Kirv, what would you be doing at this time?
She is currently sitting on the floor in the hallway, and she's suffering basically. She,
Okay.
she's low health. She's taking in the situation. She doesn't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. Damian, in that case, seeing what's going around and unsure whether it's a good idea to don his armor or not, going to go about the party and try and find out how injured everybody is.
Okay. You can see a lot of blood. A lot of them have kind of dark stains on their clothing, their shirts. A lot of them are badly injured. Meta-wise, who is 20 health or lower?
Yep.
I'm good for the moment. I'm like 32. I'm like
I'm
almost exactly
just
a
above
third.
that. I'm on 21.
I am 11.
Okay. So,
Oh, shit, Vinny's back.
Vinny and Kirv are the ones who were the most injured, followed by Mortar.
And Cat, what's Cat on?
35. She's
Okay.
probably
She's
the
the
best out of
healthiest.
everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she only
yeah,
took
okay.
one hit at the end of the day. She took one hit and was then able to get out of there after blowing them up.
Remind me
In
how much
that-
a regular healing potion heals?
2d4
I've
plus
got-
2.
Right, I've got
I've
6
got a lot of
healing
stuff.
potions on me, so if anyone wants anything...
You say you
come
have
to-
6 healing potions on you. Your stuff is in your room.
You probably don't now.
Yeah,
I don't.
either.
No,
But I
right
have
now,
got
the
lay
only...
on hands.
Yeah, you managed to grab
That's
your weapon and
literally it.
attack the assailant before you then rolled over to help your
BRB.
party. Right now, you are all... Well, you specifically, Romulus, are separated from your gear.
Yeah.
In
Just
that
check,
case,
which of my weapons is it? Is it stagger?
Yes, you grabbed Stagger in the moment.
Cool.
So your halberd and your maul are otherwise in the room still.
That's fine. That's fine.
I
Not
wanna
too
leave with
concerned
this,
about them.
In that case, I think the best thing that Damien would do then is he'd go over to who would be nearest. Which person of Vinny or Kirv would likely be nearest to Damien at this point?
Probably Vinny's standing, so he'd probably be right next to you, whereas Kirv sat on the
Okay.
floor, but she wouldn't be far.
So I would probably turn to Vinny then first because I'd see Vinny if Kirv is on the floor as well. Probably first too, because height.
Mhm.
I turn to Vinny. I determine that Vinny is quite injured. Got a quick glance around those who I can immediately see,
Mhm.
because I can't see Kirv immediately, and I'm going to pump 15 lay of hands into Vinny.
Okay. So it's 15 hit points for Vinny.
And then I'm going to look around, and because I'm not looking down, I'm not going to see Kirv, and I'm going to ask, where's Kirv?
Down here, and she's going to struggle to stand up.
In which case, I'm going to rush over to Kirv and say, no, wait, stay there, and I'm going to pump 15 laying hands into you.
Okay.
She's going to resist at first because she doesn't actually know what the fuck you're doing.
Oh man, wow.
Okay. With this, given what's otherwise currently happening, I would like one of you to roll me a d6.
Abstain.
I'm happy to.
I'm... Okay.
Four.
Oh. Okay.
Or ancient dragons.
Okay.
I don't know if it was
So
aiming
let's-
high, low, or
Get rid of the
medium.
evidence.
400 flumps.
So, in this
Truly the reinforcements.
in this moment, as you otherwise kind of are holding your moment there, kind of with what sounds like shouts that have been had outside, there's kind of a short pause. You hear the door downstairs slam open, and then immediately climbing the stairs, you watch is this massive, what looks to be larger than Romulus, mind, otherwise longhorn black-furred Minotaur, carrying what looks to be a otherwise massive great axe, and they otherwise stomp up the stairs kind of in a rushed haste, and then stop in that moment, seeing you there, Romulus, and look about the rest of your group, and then looks up at the one in the doorway. What's going on here?
We were attacked in the
Stay
night.
back. Innocent people are being turned into murderers.
Roll me a persuasion check, please, Vinny.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yes.
What proof do you have? Being injured from a scuffle makes you no less murderers.
What proof do you want? The fact that a poisoned dagger caused these injuries?
Like I said, what proof? I see no daggers. All I see is a bunch of individuals sat in the hallway, injured. And the
Oh,
crying
right,
of someone beyond after hearing you were saying about reinforcements. About that we were coming. At that point you see what looks to be two more Minotaurs are kind of backing up behind him.
I had nothing to do with that. But, look, what... You're hunters, right? Put the situation together. What do you think happened?
So you're saying that innocents snuck into your chambers and stabbed you all this badly?
They were wearing mystical cloaks. They were wearing something that wasn't real. They weren't responding when I tried to talk to them. They hurt us very badly.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Damian has put his crest hammer down, by the way. He's not gonna be in
Okay.
any threat.
Sorry, am I to roll for persuasion?
Persuasion, yes please.
I believe I have advantage for that. Do I? No, it's just a bonus. Okay. Ooh,
Oh, we're...
Another
19
good
plus
roll.
7. So it's 26.
The individual otherwise kind of looks you all over. Anybody else have any witnesses? Individuals who may have seen this. I do not doubt what you say. I only require proof of any of this. If the clothing was illusory like you say, the robes, then surely they may still wear them. If they are gone, then what proof of weapons do you have?
I'm going to put my hands up because I've got no idea how this is going to work, but I'm going to try it because I don't think the two who are in Romulus's room need to be disturbed at this moment. I stand up slowly and I say to the big Minotaur, you can come into my room and you can see what the situation is in my room. Because if there's any knives there still left, that will be of help. If there aren't, well, we can't help that. But at least they get to see what on earth happened. And it's not with like an innkeeper crying over relative, presumably.
To explain our side of the story, we woke up being attacked. No response from the attackers. When we tried to work out what the hell was going on, we defended ourselves. And then they looked different. Some sort of illusory magic, like my friend said. And then, well, this. I'm not letting anyone hurt my friends again. So please, get to the bottom of this.
What tribe do you hail from, friend? He says this in Sylvan, by the way.
I respond in Sylvan. Quick question,
Oh,
Chris.
man.
Which clan technically do I belong to? Because, like, technically I belong to an entirely different tribe that I grew up with, but in terms of, like, who I actually, you know...
You would belong to that tribe.
Oh, God, where's my...
The fur cloaks
goddamn-
is who you'd technically abide by.
I've lost my goddamn notes file. Give me a... Okay. I hail from the Furcloaks tribe.
You're a northerner.
Mm.
Otherwise,
Yourself.
snorts a bit. We don't deal with northerners. And otherwise, takes a few steps forward. Show me your room, knight.
And okay. And I'm backing up slowly, making sure that I'm keeping my surroundings.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna basically just back my way in and go against the door so that just let him in.
Yeah. You note that one of the ones behind is otherwise carrying what looks to be a shield and mace, almost in preparation for a fight. And there is another one beyond with what looks to be not necessarily a glowing spell, but you can tell the actions of a spell in preparation to be cast in the event that something should go down.
How much of this can I hear from my position within Cat's room? How close is
Yes,
this to...
they walk past Cat's room in this instance. So they walk past Cat's room to Damian's.
I would like to use spatial awareness to try to... is it spatial awareness?
Spatial awareness lets you know the number of creatures in the area. Yeah.
Yes, I will do that. That's useful, because I want to see if there's any more outside.
There are. There are what looks to be there are a number of them that are outside. They're not necessarily like close and hanging outside the window. We're talking like there are ones that are downstairs and they seem to be kind of filtering out. There are a few that kind of are about and traveling around the tavern, potentially get to the entrance. There's more calls going from outside. With spatial awareness, you just learn of these people's locations and you know that there are a number of them. You are definitely outnumbered as a group if you were to fight.
Cat doesn't seem to be in much of a state to be doing anything more than processing at the minute.
Yeah.
At least that's what Mortar can see.
At which point your calm emotions would wear off, Cat.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Towards the end of the calm emotions, knowing full well what's happened and analysing everything that has happened, trying to rationalise and compartmentalise things, does she know of any spells that this reminds her of? Through her travels, through her reads, through people she's met?
Roll me an Arcana check. And what specifically are you referring to?
So the spell that's disguised them while they're around, flicking around the room, quickly seeing, can I see a knife? Is the knife still present?
The knife is still present, yeah.
Okay, so knife's still present, so it is just an illusory kind of spell. Trying to work out what could have done this, the proximity, the taking over of innocent people's minds to influence them to hurt someone. I want to know what spell this could be. Yeah. Is this a multi-layered spell or a single spell or...
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. You watch, this will be I get that. Come on. Okay, that's 23.
23. Ooh. Magic-wise, there are plenty of illusion magics that work in lots of different ways. The only one which you can think of that might apply to this on like an individual scale would be Disguise Self. You know that there is a greater version of that known as Seeming. But Seeming cannot be just dispelled like this. It has a duration, which means it would have had to have been in effect for at the very least 8 hours.
Or cancelled earlier.
But it can't be cancelled earlier. Oh no, sorry, no, sorry, that is... No, that's a... Sorry, I'm reading the spell now. Yeah, the spell lasts until the duration unless you use an action to dismiss it sooner, so never mind. So yeah, Seeming is an option. As for the individuals in this instance, you have no idea. You do not know the manner in which took place, whether they were doing this of their own volition, if they were controlled, if this was something that was just occurring, you have no idea.
Okay.
Mortar will see kind of the moment of the calm emotions begin to fade, and I'm just going to check that you're all doing okay. Is there some kind of is there something I could ascertain from Kat that would let me know that she is in control, she's breathing, like no matter how bad the situation is, that everything is going somewhat okay despite the circumstance, like she's not going to freak out?
Roll me an insight check.
Or is that something I can't necessarily... Oh, okay.
Yeah, roll me an insight check, and then Kat, I'll let you decide the DC for this.
Okay. Well, I mean, Kane hiding it. Like, yeah, there's gonna be
Disadvantage because you're exhausted.
It's gonna be
Oh, yeah,
10.
thank you. I'll roll it twice.
Okay,
But,
so 14 or...
Plus, yeah, 14 plus 4 is 18, or...
18.
14 plus 4 is 18.
Okay, nice. So, I'll say that, yeah, you can pick up the cat. How would you describe Cat in this moment?
Freaking out a little bit. Everything's hitting her. The adrenaline is still kind of pumping because, it's been quite recent. She's killed someone and worse. There's a lot of questions going through her head. Maybe, what does this mean? How am I doing? What have I done? Oh my god. And she's like rummaging through her bag. Pulls out the scroll of the life rune, then looks at the life rune, looks at the body, is like, gonna work. Looks at Mortar. What do I do?
Oh, damn. Mortar looks at Cat, looks at the bag, looks at the body. Cover your eyes. He's going to walk over to the body and unfurl the sheet, and he's going to begin undressing the body. He's looking for a mark or a rune or something, a means of how this spell was placed on this person.
Make me an investigation check with disadvantage because you're exhausted.
And a -2, examine. Not a brainy boy.
11.
Hey, that's actually pretty good. That's 11. That's
11.
pretty freaking good.
You look over the body, you cannot see any clear markings, there's no signs of sigil work, there's no engravings, there's no tattoos. The individual is as they are. The most that you see is they have a few piercings on their area, but other than that, there's nothing of intrigue about them. There's no items in their pockets, there's nothing. The only thing you find on their persons, even with an 11, is an empty vial, which you assume contained the poison, and that's it.
Mortar will retrieve the poison vial, and he'll say, "I'll be back in just a moment. Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Mortar will wrap Cat's shoulders in his cloak, and is going to open the door, step outside, announcing himself, and he's going to say to Romulus, "Get in there. She's not in a good way." And I'm going to hand the vial over to Vinny, and I'm going to say, "This was on the bodies. I think it might have been the poison that was used to dip their weapons."
Okay.
Proof.
You open the door and say that to Romulus. The individual who is otherwise also standing guard kind of sees you in this moment and kind of holds out their mace, crossing the doorway. You also involved in this.
What's that, sorry?
You also involved in this.
Mortar's not going anywhere, but if you try and stop me from getting in there to make sure my daughter's all right, you will not like the consequences.
Do what he says. Big man hasn't gotten enough sleep tonight, like none of us have, so move over, Grasshopper.
Not sure I like the way you're acting. Damian, while you're in the other room currently with the Minotaur in this moment, do you point out anything in particular, or is he just being left to investigate?
I mean, I'm pointing out there's the body, which has got a smashed-in head.
Yeah. Which he identifies to be akin to your mace. Got it?
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
Can't help that.
There's the body, there's the dagger,
Yeah,
there's
there's
the
the body.
steeple, and here is Mick Jagger,
Yeah, basically,
Hey.
I'm just pointing out those are the things. I'm not interfering. You look around and investigate it as if basically I'm obviously here sort of like as a potential hostile witness sort of thing. But
Okay.
this is the scene as it is. I'm not interfering. You realise, work out what's happened. And if you don't, then I can't help it.
He has a
Oh,
look.
sorry,
Sorry,
I just had a slight retcon in my brain. Sorry, I'll say it once you guys are finished. My bad.
That's fine. As he otherwise kind of looks about the room, he's still kind of poised in that moment. Kind of stops, looks at the body for a moment. As much as your story would work out, there's still possibilities that this has been set up.
I'd suggest checking every single room in that case. That's all I can suggest.
Sorry to sneak in, but Mortar, I think it would be very appropriate soon if you mentioned that you have an alive person.
I was just about to do that. That was literally the retcon I was going to say. But,
So,
first off, Mortar would.
I'll say as you
finish your scene
otherwise.
first, sorry.
I was going to say, yeah. He otherwise kind of looks at this, kind of looks back at you. This is something that I'm not going to be able to just make a decision on. This is up to the owner of the tavern and the rest of the town. He otherwise
That's
kind of
fine.
he gives you a cold stare.
I understand perfectly. This is an.
As he otherwise hears the... Oh, sorry.
I understand perfectly. This is a very disturbing, horrible incident, and I would want, as a townsperson, as a town, as a community, to know what's happened to get to the bottom of it properly between us.
And he otherwise looks at you. Make me a persuasion check.
This is where finally the party rolls on that one.
Don't say that.
I know how it
Why
works
would
with
you
my
say that?
dice. Me and
Why
dice,
would
I
you
know
say
how it
that,
works.
man?
Do not tempt fate.
Fairness, can we just put
Yeah,
him in the shed
right.
with the horse?
Persuasion token?
Persuasion was it?
Mm-hmm.
8. Which is exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
Crap.
He otherwise gives you that cold stare and that look as you otherwise say that. And as he begins to kind of hear what's going on outside with the talk of kind of saying, Romulus, get in here, and then the threats being had, he steps out into the kind of to the doorway of the room where you are, Damian. You will not threaten our men. If you want to get out of this place alive, you will comply.
The next part
I'm
of
not doing anything against your rules. I am going to make sure my daughter is all right after she has been attacked.
And you have threatened my men, saying you'll cut them down if we stop you.
You may not cut
Are
them
we
down,
friends
but we will
or
do what we
foe
need.
betrayer?
Betrayer.
Oh,
Romulus.
I am no foe of yours. The only things I have said tonight have been to make sure that no one else is going to attack me, my friends, or my family.
Then you will do well to let us find out what happened. The more you move around, the more you trample, the more you mess and talk with one another, the more suspicion it adds.
you know what? Talking sounds like a great idea. Mortar walks back into the room. He casts levitate on the unconscious body, so that way Cat's not being overcrowded by people. Because the worst thing she needs right now is to be overcrowded. Cast levitate on the body, and I basically roll the body out while it's being levitated, and I say, "You can ask him yourself. I kept one of them alive in case you motherfuckers wanted to start asking questions. So go ahead, open his eyes and ask him some motherfucking questions."
2 problems with this. 1, you're in the wrong room to cast levitate on this person. 2, they're tied to the bed with a noose. You're currently strangling them if you want.
Oh God!
Oh yeah, that's true. I snapped his neck.
So there's 2 problems with this statement. One is you're either killing them or you're not there to do it.
I completely forgot. I walk out of Cat's room into my room. I levitate the body, pull him out after taking the noose off.
The guy who's otherwise
Okay.
blocking the doorway where
that's
you're
all.
trying to leave is otherwise still holding the mace there in that moment.
Okay.
I walk
I'm
through
just gonna
him
say,
using my teleport.
You're gonna teleport?
Yeah, fuck this guy. I'm walking through him. This like if he wants to follow
Okay.
me into the room,
I'm
by all
gonna say now is probably the time to take things slowly and ask
Here's...
for permission rather than for forgiveness.
How does your teleport work, remind me? Is it your side step, which requires you to pull out your gun and aim at a location?
Oh Jesus,
That's true.
and fury.
That's true. I'm going to hold it at my hip and fire at the door. So it's very obvious I'm not pointing at him, because I'm going to push him slightly to the side and fire at the door.
I'm going to have you roll a performance check
What are
here.
you trying to get us killed?
And Kirv
Alright.
run over and try and stop this action.
I will have... Okay, here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask Kirv and Mortar to make me initiative rolls here to see who goes first. Mortar, you have a point of exhaustion, so you make this with disadvantage.
Okay.
And then after this will be a performance check from Mortar to try and persuade them that he's not being aggressive. And Kirv, if you get a higher initiative, you may try and intervene in whatever way you see fit. So go ahead and roll me initiative, please, Kirv. So 10 is what you've got to beat. Yeah. So Kirv, you see Mortar otherwise in this moment kind of begrudgingly seeing this in the way. He kind of reaches for his gun at his side. What do you do to intervene?
Oh, I've already seen that touching the gun is not a good idea.
You can try.
I don't think now is the time to be experimenting. So I will try, I guess, just try and push his arm back down so he isn't trying to raise the gun.
Okay.
Mortar will look momentarily surprised, but he will go along with what Kirv is doing, kind of realizing the miscalculation in his actions. He will basically let go of the gun, allow it to slip back into his holster, and he'll say, "There is someone on the other side of this door who is still unconscious. They are not dead. It's one of the assailants. You can ask him why the hell he was doing this. Open the door."
You can use your words first before you start pulling out your weapon. And Romulus, I know you're scared for Kat. You want to be there for her, but someone has already lost their child. Okay, you can imagine how that must feel.
Sorry, Kirv. I
So
was talking
show
to the
some
guard.
decency and lose your pride. Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I was talking to the guard when I was
Okay.
saying that. Like
I'm
I went
saying-
along with your action. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I'm
That's okay.
saying
I
you
was just
should
wondering
have
if you
done
thought I was
that
directed that at you.
Okay, yeah. Quick question. Okay, so
Above board, I'm going to quickly ask, is everyone okay?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so
this
sorry.
is a stressful
It's
situation.
me raising my
This
voice.
is
Okay,
spicy.
No, you raising your voice is fine.
you're
The
okay.
situation as a
You're
whole
good.
is stressful. But
This is good. This is good.
okay.
No, just make sure
I
nobody
am-
was feeling uncomfortable. Okay.
I'm
I am
Damien
going-
should
My heart
shocking
speaks
now
so
against the
damn
door,
loud.
crying.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Starlight downstairs
Starlight
bursts through the door.
Yeah,
Boom!
No, Starlight's just
Maybe
doing
I
everything according to plan.
Actually, that's a point. I need to...
One thing.
This is something I've been wondering. If these six have gone against us, and they know anything about us existing, what the hell's happened to Starlight? I'm not going to know in person myself. I'm wondering, as a DM, have you thought about that?
Is
Yeah,
there
I
a
have,
horse
yes.
with a knife?
Okay.
There is
Yes,
There's a fellow horse in that shed with a knife. Stabbed Starlight, but it couldn't apply the poison, so it's just done D4 damage, and then Starlight fought back and won.
The disguise spell falls off and it's just a cow.
Gasp.
Okay,
Right.
so I've just done a few rolls here. Cat. With the calm emotions ending, how is Terrador acting in this moment?
Oh,
Oh, shit.
It depends entirely on how Kat's feeling. Cause
Your connection to Terrador is mental and emotional.
yeah, I know. Okay, Kat is trying to convince herself to stay calm. So Terrador will be picking up that she's convincing herself to stay calm, but her emotions are everywhere. Like, she is all over the place. There is grief, anger, like fury that someone would use innocent people as pawns in some sick, twisted game.
Fear,
There's-
probably.
Yeah, scared. She doesn't understand. There's people shouting out in the corridor. Is this going to have consequences? Like, everything is happening.
Okay, so I will say in this moment, with what I rolled for Terrador, I will say for the moment, Terrador is not going to be doing anything aggressive, but is not remaining idle necessarily, is not necessarily putting up a threat display in this instance, but very much a manner of, if things get hairy, I will be charging into that tavern.
Okay. Can't understand that she made the spell that Terrador will be feeling this way, right?
I will let you decide based on your emotional stability.
Okay. Well, no, fundamentally, not at the moment, but overall, arcing, she knows that we
Yes.
are.
Yeah,
What?
you
Okay.
you and Terrador share the same emotional state. So in this instance, Terrador is in chaos and shambles, but he is trying to control himself.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna roll a d20. Cat's emotional state is everywhere. So anything at 12 and above, she considers Terrador. Anything below that, she's too much of a mess.
Okay.
Nope.
You're too much of a mess. Okay. So in this moment, as you otherwise mention, as Kirv, as you otherwise kind of take this approach to your two allies, kind of mentioning that there's kind of a moment where the one who's otherwise standing in the doorway with Damian behind him, he kind of takes a less of a tightened grip off of his axe in this moment, kind of staring at Romulus, and then turns to Mortar. Where is this one?
Behind you, in that room. If
Thank
you want
you.
me to go in first, I'll
No,
go in
that's
first.
all me. That's all fine. Takes a step into the corridor, kind of takes a step past you, Romulus, and kind of seeing there's no door handle, is going to shoulder barge the door to open it. Oh no, there's no door on that one. That's right.
No, the door's gone. I blew up.
There was no
yeah.
door on that one. That's right.
There's
So
no
he
door.
he
So
sees
he
there's
can
no
literally
door.
look in, yeah.
Yeah, he sees there's no door, and he's
Well,
otherwise
that's the
going.
point then, yeah.
He's going to look in. He's going to otherwise walk up to the individual tied there. So let's go. I will say, Romulus, you're the only one who's really seeing this, as everybody else is having to remain stationary. You watch as he kind of taps the individual on the side of the face just to try and wake them up. Kind of does it again, has a look at them. Kind of squints for a moment. Kind of pulls their eyelids open. They're alive. Not conscious, though. Don't know how long it'll be before they wake. They've been knocked out.
Our goal was to get some kind of information out of them. However, it's escalated before things could settle down. So, why don't we all calm down? There's been some deaths. Let's deal with the wounded here. We can have some kind of trial, or however people want to handle this shit.
The one otherwise
Right
takes a
now?
step out of the room and looks at all of you.
Right now, my friend is next door. She's suffering. We're going to go and check on her. Try to stop us, and there's going to be a fucking issue.
The reason why I'm concerned is she is a child. I'm sorry for being defensive earlier. I just want to make sure she's all right.
Roll me a
If
persuasion
you
check.
would I would add on to potential low DC if you would prefer to please gently go in and bring her out here to avoid messing anything up. I'm fine with that. I just need to make sure she's all right.
Could Mortar have given him the help action in initiating this?
I will say this will be a flat roll, because with the help I'm assuming the help action is currently being in place because you're not being aggressive. But you are all technically suffering disadvantage because you are at the scene of a crime where people have been murdered and you aren't the ones who have been murdered. So it's currently
Gotcha.
a flat
Okay.
roll across the board with until someone does something that's aggressive, effectively.
Gotcha.
I need a high roll because I've got such a low fucking persuasion. It's not high. It's in fact quite low. It's an 11.
It's
not
too
ne-
bad.
It's not below 10, which I think is pretty good for a Romulus roll.
Also, it's your kid as well.
The individual standing next to you otherwise kind of looks at you and then looks back at the other one and kind of gestures kind of with a slight tilt of the head upwards, and they kind of pull their mace back and take a step back but keep their shield lifted and raised. Everyone out into the alley, out into the hall, please. So Mortar and Cat, you are otherwise...
The moment Cat is out, I drop my weapon and like
Mortar's cloak is...
I initially make to go towards it. I then stop myself and turn to the person who seems like they're in charge. Please.
He otherwise gestures for you to do so, and otherwise takes a step towards
I immediately wrap Cat in a hug.
Okay.
Mortar's cloak is currently around Cat, so that way it's kind of obscuring her peripherals a little bit, so that way she can just focus on what's in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
So Mortar will head over towards Kirv and check if she's okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're right. That's a nasty wound.
It's all right. It's all right. I know you're scared, but I'm here.
Kirv shrugs Mortar off.
Mortar nods and stands up, walks over to Vinny. You okay?
I'm not okay. People are dead, and other people are in danger, but...
Let's talk about your wound.
I'm not gonna die. Chris, just to double check. The doors here, are they supposed to lock?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And they were locked when you went to bed.
Is the leader dude still here for the moment?
He has otherwise headed in. He's currently speaking to the Orcan who was guarding the final room, and has otherwise headed inside and seems to be talking to the individual within.
I'm just going to. This all seems pretty rough. Obviously, we have wounds that should match up with the knives or whatever, and poison should still be in at least some of our systems if we can get to it quickly enough. If they still doubt us, then, well, there are a few other things to point out. Why were they in our rooms? Also, if we were the ones to be at fault, why would we have, and if we were planning something, why would Damian have removed his armor? Why would any of us not have been prepared? The blood spatter on the beds from where we were attacked is going to be exceedingly different than if we were conscious, as there'd be movement of the blood based on where it would have pooled beneath us where we were laying if we were laying down at the time. And as long as we don't make more enemies here than we already have, if they're logical, I don't believe we will be inconvenienced. Just let's do as Kirv says and try and stay calm. I think more so than a single lacking night's rest, you see a wave of exhaustion fall over Romulus. This is not the kind of fight that I am happy about. Whoever did this was sick.
As you're otherwise kind of mentioning this, you otherwise hear from the room at the end where the leader had gone a shout from the tavern keep, as he otherwise says, "They killed my daughter!" You otherwise watch as the Orcan individuals are currently trying to hold the Tavern Keeper back. The Minotaur doing the same. And versus the 10. Yeah, no. The Tavern Keeper is currently trying to push back, and you can see that he is currently trying to push past them, but is unable to do so. You're just going to let them go for this? Shouting down into the hallway.
You know what? He's right. Let him come at us. Come on. You've got a lot on your plate. You're angry. You're pissed off. Come here.
As
Also, will walk forward a little bit. He'll throw his gun to the side. He'll hold his hands out and say, "Come on, then. Get this off your chest. Right here, right now. Come on. What the fuck are you waiting for? Come on."
Oh!
the Orcan individual is otherwise still holding them back, holding the Tavern Keep back. In this instance, you otherwise hear almost not necessarily a deafening voice, but a very clear one, as there's kind of beginning to have raised voices between some of these individuals. A few of them telling you, Mortar, to not get involved, to sit back down. You hear a very clear and concise voice from behind you in the stairwell. What's going on here, then? And you watch as the Minotaurs part, and an older Orcan individual takes a few steps up the stairs. Care to explain all of this, Ashhorns? And there's a pause as one of the individuals, the one with the shield, kind of takes a step back and kind of bows his head slightly. The individual takes a step towards you, Mortar. Otherwise, seeing your gun on the ground, looking at the rest of you. Something has gone on here, yes. No need to let emotions ride the air, though. Sit down, young man. And continues walking past all of you.
Who was he talking to?
You.
Me. I continue making eye contact with the innkeeper.
The innkeeper is currently being pressed back into the room where he was. There wasn't really any eye contact, it was more of a you saw his head poking out as he was being pushed back in.
Gotcha. So just shakes his head, picks up his gun, holsters it. This is a fucking mess.
He walks up to the Orcan individual and kind of gestures for him to step aside. As he does, the innkeeper kind of looking out. And in that moment, you watch as kind of the old man places his hand on him. And Cat, as much as you're out of it at the moment, you recognize a calm emotion spell anyway.
God, I want some of that.
He otherwise looks at the innkeeper, then looks back at the behind him. Turns and looks at all of you. Anything you wish to say? Be concise, be clear, and don't say too much.
Only what I've already said.
And that was?
People that we were awoken by people entering our room and trying to stab us with poisoned knives. Upon fighting them off,
Vinny has the vial as well, which Mortar gave you as well.
we recovered this from one of them, but they should all have them, as well as some means of opening the locks on the doors. Upon defending ourselves, the illusion shrouding them dropped, revealing not trained killers, but apparently innocent civilians.
The older Orcan individual otherwise looks at you, kind of takes the vial in that moment, holds it in place, before kind of almost interpreting your words and hearing them and piecing things as they are. Go ahead and make me a persuasion check, please. It's good.
It's 28.
Romulus wishes.
Yeah. I look at my persuasion roll.
He otherwise looks at you. I hear what you're saying. He otherwise turns back to look at the innkeeper. Go. Bury your daughter. Ashhorns, let them collect their things and go. They are not to come back here, but let them go in peace. If people harry them, tell them they go with my freedom. If you wish not to go and you wish to stand trial, you can stay. But know that it will be the minds of the masses, not those of the wise. Looking at all of you. Take this opportunity.
Damian has been.
Proving our innocence may not be possible in the face of those that are ruled by their emotions.
Damian's been quiet in his doorway and looks at everybody and says, "We go."
We go.
As
The
much as I had to run away from this, I'm
For
here because
what?
I'm looking for a friend. I don't have the time to stay in town.
Mortar's just shaking in rage.
For what it's worth. I'm sorry. We may have been forced into this, and whatever sick game someone is playing here is... Regardless,
grab your things
whatever.
and go. I understand. From what you've said and what I've seen, the evidence is striking that someone has tried to set you up. But there are still dead here who have died at your hands, and blood may be called for. I recommend you leave and do not try and come back through here for a while.
As you say.
You watch as the innkeeper kind of goes to object, and almost instinctively you watch as the old man turns, kind of lifts a hand, and as the innkeeper goes to speak, his words are quiet. The older gentleman nods to all of you. Gather your things and go.
I started to do just that.
Okay. Does anybody object to leaving now?
No.
No, we're out.
Okay.
No.
You
There are
gather.
a couple of things I wish to do as we go, but that's it.
Okay.
Same here.
And what would those things be?
First of all, I'm going to get one of the other members of the party to pick up my hammer. That's a minor thing. The other thing is that, presumably, as we're about to file out, I'm going to quickly look at that older Orcan individual. And I'm
Mhm.
going to say, I do not know who attacked me and has died from my self-defense, but whomever they are, I still owe them a debt, and I am going to offer a weir guild to that Orcan individual for whoever their family might be.
Okay.
It's going to be a reasonable chunk of my money, but I'm going to do it anyway because a life is worth a lot of money, and I
Mhm.
feel wrong nevertheless, regardless of whether I acted in self-defense or not.
He
I
oth-
think it's going to be 30 gold.
He otherwise nods in thanks in this instance. If you were not here, this judgment may have been different, Knight of Balloon.
Oh yeah.
I understand, and I thank you, and I am sorry for what has ended up happening here today.
He otherwise nods. Takes the coin, puts it into a small bag. Mortar, you said you wanted to do something before you left?
It was more going to be as we were filing out. So Cat can hold on to my cloak for the meantime. I have my gun. I have the bare essentials, what I came in with. I would like to, if I can, as we're walking, because I'm still convinced that whoever set us up is still here.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use thoughts. No, not thought scour. God damn it! Which one is it? Telepathic intrusion.
To see if there's
I want to see
anybody,
if there's to see if
any
there's anything
messages or interference or
sinister.
anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
anything sinister going on. Just to try to gauge the immediate area.
Okay. Nobody seems to be using any magic to telepathically communicate or anything like that. I'll say, go ahead and make me a general insight check. Again, disadvantage because exhaustion. But this will be just to scan the crowd for anyone who looks suspicious. If it's anything like
So did you say with
blotch, it will be
disadvantage?
guaranteed. But go for it. Yes, disadvantage.
Disadvantage? Okay, cool. Thank you. And I'm shaking. Holy crap. Yeah, no, that's not going to do it. That's a 7.
You look around the crowd. There's no one that stands out. I will describe the crowds in a bit, but we'll get there when we get there. You were going to say, Romulus?
Yeah, I feel like a wereguild doesn't. Am I correct in understanding that I specifically was the one that murdered the innkeeper's daughter?
Yes, but this is for the one that Damian killed.
I know. I'm wondering, is that a thing? Would it be wrong of me to also offer a wereguild in that regard?
How much physical
Might be a
money
bit
do you
tempting.
have on you? Because I remember quite a lot of it's in Cat's bank at the moment.
A lot of it, not all of it.
Okay.
I have. How much is a life worth? Far more than I can. Yeah.
It's a few drinks too early to be asking that kind of question.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not for
100
not for
gold.
Mortar though, thanks to Kirv. Not for
100 gold. It's nowhere near what I would give, but it's what I can definitely afford to give.
Okay. So 100 gold. They again will take the coin. Although the innkeeper may not accept it now, whoever this older individual is who arrived on my roll, the older individual will, from what you can tell, keep hold of it and then pass it on. Whoever they may be, they're either an elder or someone very well respected within this community, you're not sure. But regardless, you otherwise head outside. Starlight is otherwise brought to you. As this happens, there are individuals kind of muttering and hush talking and stuff. There are also a few people beginning to kind of, in crowds, shout murderers. And more people calling for vindication and crimes to be had. The Minotaurs that are with you are otherwise escorting you out, and a few of them are otherwise putting up their hands. A few other individuals in what look to be kind of these long brown garments, same as that of the older gentleman, kind of go up and they put their hands up and they begin to kind of talk to the crowds and stuff. Some form of peacekeepers, perhaps, you're not entirely sure, but you are otherwise escorted to what side of the town do you wish to leave on?
Yeah.
We arrived from, I'm assuming, over the northwest or the west.
You came directly from the west, and the road leading out goes directly to the east, but you may go any direction should you choose to.
I
Do you
think
know what this one's
the
called?
east would get us closer to our objective. Right?
Nin'Bero.
Nin'Bero.
And
The east gate would get us closer to our objective. Is that right?
would get you. You would be 1 day's travel from Obokgro, which is your intended destination. Yes.
Perfect. I think
What's
we
the
head
name?
there. Take advantage of the armed escort.
Oh, it's just to the edge of town. After that, they're leaving you to it.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll take advantage of that.
What was the name of the place and how do I spell it?
Of where you're going or where you are.
Where we are currently.
Nin'Bero, which is NIN''Bero.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rather than just calling it we reach a small place.
As a general note for this settlement, should you pass through here before the people have forgotten who you are, or while you're still distinct onto who exactly you are,
We'll be attacked in the streets.
you'll be attacked in the
Spit on.
streets. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
you will not be well received. You have not been exiled to the point that you are going to be hunted, as obviously the investigations are going to be had, and what conclusions will be had from that will determine what happens should you try to go around the small settlement or anything like that. But otherwise, it would be a wider berth heading up through the Saltspire Swamp or down through the Spiral Mountains.
Before we obviously said if it would help at all in your investigation, do you wish to examine some of our wounds to see if they match up with the knives? And
the older gentleman in this instance kind of shakes his head. Those could have been self-inflicted.
Fair enough.
Mortar snorts at that.
I look at my body that given the amount of health I've lost, must be just littered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. I hope that is a slim possibility in your head. Still bleeding.
You can tell that he has passed his judgment on the fact that he's letting you leave, that is a slim possibility, but a possibility it remains, and therefore he cannot have it be ruled out, effectively.
Alright.
Okay.
Is there anything else we can do before we leave?
Nope.
No?
Okay. Then go.
You're escorted to the edge of town on the eve of the night. About halfway through the night, at maybe 1-2 o'clock in the morning. Not many people did get up, but enough did get up and started shouting and causing issue that others kind of joined, not necessarily the rabble, but to see what was going on. No stones were thrown. No particularly harsh, only harsh words were said, but you were otherwise let to go out into the wild. Anyone who would try to hunt you down would be doing so of their own free will.
That one innkeeper coming at us.
You never know.
Here's the thing. It's a town of mercenaries. The innkeeper has a lot of people who he can offer money to.
We also gave him 100 gold.
Just gave him 100 gold.
Yeah. You know
Basically,
what?
just posted our own bounty.
Look, frankly, if he does send him after us, I'd actually feel better because then I'd be able to be like, okay, I've balanced the scales now.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's entirely fair. But in this instance, I'll say that you leave town. Are you continuing on through the night to get to the city, or are you going to try and find a place to rest?
We should get a place to rest.
Yeah.
That was a lot. We are so
We
fucked
need
up right
to
now.
rest.
We need to get a little ways outside of town. I can set up the tiny hut once we're done.
Yeah, no, we need that tiny hut as well because fuck, we're not letting that happen again. In future,
No,
I say we buy one room and we.
The rooms weren't large enough to have all of you in the same room. In this instance,
In the future, we just don't go to any settlements. We stay out in the wild.
I was about to say, next time, allow me to sleep with my horse.
Your horse didn't get
I
stabbed.
said I was going to do this, and you refused and bought me a room.
Yes,
So true.
Damian hates rooms now. It is confirmed.
Yeah, man.
Damian is literally going to just sleep in the stable with Starlight at this point. Stop the rest of you.
Respect. Respect.
Fair.
You got me down to 30% health.
Nice. I did well. Okay. So, I would like a survival check from someone, please. And given that the Aurora is no longer in effect, they will be making this with disadvantage, regardless of if they have dark vision, unless you're going to have a source of light.
I do have a +7, but I'm also exhausted, so I will be doing this at disadvantage anyway. So I can do that, or we can have Romulus do it. Or if there's someone who has just
I do have dark vision.
It would still be with disadvantage unless you have a source of light, I'm afraid, because it is pitch black.
I
got
can-
torches.
I was about to say,
Actually-
I'd wait a short while until we get out the town before
Actually,
we
no.
find
Sorry,
somewhere, and
I
then I
for-
could do sort of like.
I forgot, the weather's still clear, because I had you roll the weather roll. Yeah, so it's still clear and the full moons are waning now. So it should still be quite bright out, so you're okay to roll it with the regular roll. Even if
Okay.
you... Only with those
mean-
without dark vision.
That's fine. I'll be blind. I'll rely on everyone else.
You're not blind,
Does
it's
someone-
just difficult to say.
Could someone provide me the help action?
I have expertise in perception, so
But
I
you're
can help with
exhausted.
that.
Can you
Oh,
provide
yeah,
the
that's
help
true.
action if you're exhausted?
Not in this instance, no.
Worth a try.
Okay, no worries then.
So what am I rolling here? Perception or survival, was it?
Survival.
I'm just kind of hoping someone will chime in and say, "Oh, I'll help. I'll use the help
Can-
action with that."
Can I say Jeff uses some degree of initiative to try and work out? Kat herself isn't. She's trying to sleep on Terrador.
All right,
there's-
here's...
Oh God.
Okay,
Oh no.
an actual
I'm
one.
really
It is.
hoping you say, "Yeah, Jeff can provide the help action."
So here's what I was going to say, but it doesn't matter. I was going to say Jeff can provide the help action, so you'll have advantage, but if you roll a 10 or under, I don't care, it fails, because it's Jeff.
Oh.
But that is an actual 1. So regardless, I'll say you can do that if you want with Jeff, but I'm going to make it a 15 or under, and it's just going to be considered a natural 1.
Well,
is it 15 on the die or is it 15?
15 on the die and under.
This is
I
strictly
mean-
Jeff's thing.
I mean,
Kat
is
has
there
nothing
any?
to do with it.
Will it be worse if I try it and it fails?
You'll find out.
Could I just roll with disadvantage?
Yeah, we'll take the natural 1 and roll disadvantage.
Yeah, let's go with that. I trust that more than I trust Jeff.
He's
Let me
trying.
just double check my my modifier. I don't think I do actually have expertise. I know I have I know
You
that I
have
have advantage and
That's on
proficiency.
that's
fine.
on perception, not survival. So it's
Yeah. Oh, sorry. This is but survival. I have
proficiency. So this would be disadvantage
I have
still, but you'd have.
expertise.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this would just be a disadvantage still, but survival.
Okay, so disadvantage. Right.
Yeah.
Here's a hoping.
I thought you said perception.
Beautiful.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's right.
That is a 21.
Meanwhile, I
21.
I
Romulus.
think the best way to do it is like. Sorry, you
I
go
was
on.
just going to say, Romulus is still in shock, I'll say, from all this. With everything that's happened, with kind of it setting in for all of you that as much as this isn't your fault, you were ambushed, it was self-defense, there is still the moral concern amongst all of you of what actually happened, what took place. Especially so for Kat, with there being a much heavier weight on her shoulders. As you are travelling, Romulus, you're kind of looking out, bleary-eyed, trying to get the best vision that you can, but you still kind of feel exhausted mentally and physically. And Mortar, at this point, you're like, I've been through rough situations like this before. You're more grizzled in this kind of line of work. And in that moment, you kind of take the realization of you're exhausted, your entire party is, you need a place to sleep.
Yeah.
And you...
I'll head over to Romulus and I'll say, go check on Kat. I'll take it from there.
All right.
Also, travelling for no more than half an hour, you do find a place to sleep. But go ahead, Romulus.
And as we're walking, just as Romulus is about to go, I'll say, "Are you doing okay? I was fucked up."
To me or
To you, yes.
oh, okay.
Just as you're about to go to Kat.
I have to be. And I
Mortar nods.
just keep walking.
Yeah.
And go over to Kat.
Okay.
Yep.
You go over to Kat. She's currently lying down on Terrador. The cloak still kind of draped over her, almost hiding in this instance from the rest of the world.
I'm sorry, Kat. That was hellish. Do you want to talk about it now, or
Hear muffled from under the thing. No, I just want to sleep. I don't understand. I hate their soul. They were innocent.
You didn't know that.
You kind of see, because she's kind of wrapped up, you can still see sort of like her arms and bits of her, obviously, you know. She's big. It's hard to hide everything. There are little shards of bone coming out of the blackened arm. Just... How could anyone do that to some innocent people? Like...
But you didn't know they were innocent. You were defending yourself, and at the end of the day, selfish as it is, I'd much rather that someone else died than you did. I know that's not really what you need to hear right now, but my first thought when I came out of that room was desperately hoping that you were all right.
Just hear the last words, and the last thing she says, that I ate his soul.
All right. Nothing I say will change that. But at the end of the day, we can't change the past, we can only learn from it and move on. What can we do moving forward?
You can see the grip tighten a little bit on the cloak. She doesn't say anything, but you can definitely tell that what you've just said caused her to think.
Yeah, was not the right thing to say, probably.
No, well, you don't know. Yeah, you can't tell by a grip, but she's thinking.
Whatever happens, I am here, and I will do what I can to be here for you.
How close are you?
Oh, I am as close as you will let me be.
Okay. Just before you go to turn around or head off, or you should walk next, she grabs your hand and just holds your hand. Don't say anything, don't do anything, just holding your hand.
I don't say anything, and I'm holding your hand as well. And where possible, I think my other hand will. I think I'll sort of change over whichever hand you're holding to so that this can be done comfortably. I'm going to just pull you slightly closer to me and just start humming a lullaby that I vaguely remember from my childhood. Chris, is there any chance that I have any memory at all of my mother?
No.
Okay, in that case, then this is the lullaby that was hummed to me by the person who cared for me in the village.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll say doing that, as Mortar otherwise finds a decent place for you to otherwise settle down, where you've got a good vantage point but is still relatively well hidden, that with a Leomund's tiny hut you'll be able to rest quite easily. You're off the beaten path, so people won't be able to easily find you. It's a good location. And Vinny, do you cast Leomund's tiny hut and you will go down to rest?
Yes, I will cast.
I've got a single question.
Go for it.
I'll have had to don my armor to actually take it out with me. I'm very, very hurt. What impact will that have from my night's rest, given I've then got to undon the armor again to go to sleep?
That work right now. Everybody's rests have just been interrupted, so it would be you
Okay.
get to the destination, then you begin the long rest again. Does mean you're going to be cutting into the day tomorrow, which means that you probably won't make it to the city unless you rush, or you're going to try and cut into your into some nighttime travel, which will be more dangerous but doable.
Just sort of thematically for how Damian's going to be feeling, having had to don armor onto a lot of wounds and then take it back off,
Mm-hmm.
and ridden a horse.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you could probably drape your armor over Starlight for the most part, because Starlight got a good night's rest until you guys showed up. So
True, but Damian, more than likely, knowing the situation that was probably going to be greeting everybody, went out, would have put the armor on in case anything got thrown.
Okay, no, that's
He
fair.
would have put the armor on because that's the best way for him to actually, before we left.
Okay.
He would have put the armor on. He might be holding his helmet when offering the money to the Orcan.
But still had the armor on. Okay.
But he would be wearing it. He would have had to put it on.
Yeah, I'll say there isn't necessarily any penalty to this. I'll just say the only penalty that
You
might make
feel like
sense to me to
shit.
this is that you won't be able to take place in one of the watches that you'll need to make over the course of the night. Because I'll say that,
that makes
putting
perfect
the
sense.
armor on and then traveling in it after trying to get some rest and being attacked probably would lead to the equivalent of a point of exhaustion, and so you can't take place in the watch tonight.
Yeah, that seems perfectly reasonable.
Chris, so I've just sent you a DM.
Ooh,
Exciting.
how do you know?
Oh,
Indeed.
Secret
Mortar's
messages.
in the DMs.
I've DM'd the DM.
I think my first priority is making sure Cat is okay. So, if I am taking a watch, it is after making sure Cat is asleep, and I am very open to the possibility of not taking a watch at all if Cat requires me to sort of be holding her hand or being used as a pillow while she's sleeping.
Okay. So, Vinny, as you begin to cast the Lehman's Tiny Hut and call for everybody to kind of enter the hut, Mortar, make me a stealth check to wander off.
Fun fact: if you're outside of it when it's cast,
You can't get into
come
it.
back in.
No.
That's fine. Mortar will leave before it's cast. He's not really thinking straight at the minute. Chris, do I benefit from my usual level of bullshit, or am I losing anything?
This would be at disadvantage still, but because of the darkness, you'd have expertise. So it's with your bonus +3.
That is a 19 total.
19. Nobody's passive perception picks up on where Mortar goes. As Mortar otherwise leads you to the spot, you all trudge in one after another with, I'd probably say, probably Damian on Starlight at the back. As Mortar, you otherwise slip off and head to one of the nearby sections of woods not far from here. Just to clear your head. Vinny, do you cast the spell without Mortar?
Do I know that he's left?
Yes.
Just do it. He made his decision. I say his Kirv.
Such a Kirv thing to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Preserve the party.
Well, you're not wrong, but make sure you send your birds out to look for him. I can't leave the bubble once it's set up.
Eugene and Filch already there?
Yeah, boss.
I sort of nod at them to follow the instructions.
Alright. And the two of them are going to fly off.
Mortar predicted this. He is making a conceited effort to hide from them.
Mm-hmm.
Mortar was prepared for this. Aims rifle upwards, shoots two birds. Bang, bang. I will not be followed. Jeff goes over the corner. Bang. No familiars. Okay, so in this instance, I'll say go ahead and roll for Jeff and Eugene. I don't believe they have dark vision, but they do have advantage.
What?
So
It's not Jeff.
Who's Jeff?
Filch and Eugene. Sorry,
Filch and Eugene.
Jeff has
I feel
become
like
the new
Jeff
crow.
and Eugene would get along.
Probably. Go ahead and roll me a perception check for each.
Oh,
So
that's a good
one
question.
roll
Who's
per.
Who's got higher intelligence? Jeff or
Okay.
I'm going for Eugene.
Okay.
Yes.
So crows have a +3, so it's 18. Not quite enough to beat Mortar's 19, as he otherwise finds a place to rest. Filch and Eugene will continue searching for Mortar throughout the night. Even if they find him, they'll perch nearby just to make sure he's safe. But they're otherwise going to keep looking.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's taking first watch?
I'm
That
happy to
depends.
take
Am
it.
I? Oh, apologies.
I'm happy to take it.
Mortar
I mean,
and Damian
we are
can't.
inside a Lehman's tiny hut. If anything can get to us, we're fucked anyway.
Mhm.
No, but
Very good.
Starlight and Mortar and Theurgist are all outside currently, so...
Hmm.
I wanted to say something really mean there. Oh yeah, the
no,
mounts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
If you let them die, that's fine because Damian can't do anything about it. He's going to be knocked out for the rest of the night. He won't know until the morning when there's just like a fireball starlight outside. So
Romulus is just
I-
there cooking the horse.
yeah, I was about to say we have breakfast. We just have cooked horse,
wow, this tastes like Tesco's own
like
brand.
beef.
Oh.
Gonna
Chris,
say,
what time would you say it is by the time we set up? By the time Lehman's tiny hut is set up, what time would you say it is roughly?
About 2:30, 3 a.m.
Oh damn. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you got woken up in the middle of the night, and with everything that took place there,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
conversations,
that
kind
makes
of the,
sense.
the gathering of your things, and then taking about half an hour to an hour to wander out of town, so you're not in the plane of day to them.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
Mortar
about...
just posts up in a tree somewhere. He just finds a comfortable spot in a tree and perches up there.
Okay.
at the end of the conversation with Romulus, Cat fell asleep on Theurgist, and he'll earth glide and lower her down onto the ground.
Chuck her in the Lehman's tiny hut. Yeet.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's taking first, second, and third watch? Obviously, Mortar and Damian can't.
Yeah, I'll take first.
You'll take first.
I'll take second.
Okay.
I will take third.
Okay. And Kat, are you participating in any watches, or are you going to remain asleep?
Cat's,
I will say no. Cat is not participating.
well, Cat's sleeping with Romulus. Romulus is still with her. So
I'm staying with her. It's just that at some point for the last watch, I will, separate out if I think she's comfortable enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A BRB.
That's right. So, Kirv, with the rest of the party bedding down for the night, or what's left of it, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh.
1. Okay. You look out into the night, and you can't see anything from this vantage point that sticks out to you as odd or interesting or dangerous by any means. And the night passes you by, moves to Vinny. Actually, no, that's not 1. Vinny, roll me a Constitution saving throw. If you manage to get I believe I set the DC at 10 for these. If you fail the DC, you do not wake up for your watch. Okay. So,
Yeah, it's a 15.
your watch comes around to when you would believe that you need to wake up, and this is a regular routine of needing to get up for watches. As you otherwise you stir for a bit and you kind of look over to see if Kirv is ready to kind of wake you up for your watch. You see that she's passed out in her sleep, and in that moment you kind of understand that she's exhausted and she has fallen asleep on watch.
If Kirv has like a blanket or something, I will pick that up and gently drape it over her.
That's
I'm
Wow.
getting on with my watch.
okay. Kirv, go ahead and roll me 2d12s, please.
Why?
Because you got a natural 1.
Okay.
Let's see if anything does happen this night.
2d12s. It's 2 8s.
Ooh.
Okay.
The eights of spades.
Okay.
That's
Sorry, was that
very
the
lucky in
eights
China.
of spades?
The 8s of spades.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Alright.
it was.
Vinny, go ahead and roll me your perception check, please.
The eights of spades. Sorry.
I'm not apologizing.
No, you don't need to.
oh
Vinny.
my god.
falls asleep on his
Oh,
watch.
No.
Oh.
Chris,
Mm-hmm.
can I have it? Because I'm gonna say, but just thing. Theurgist will be staying awake. He's gonna take a point of exhaustion, but with the frustration, everything that's gone on, and the last sleep, and Cat being very unstable at the moment, he's gonna be walking around the orb, continuously.
Okay. Keep in mind that if he is doing this, he will need to then rest inside his gem
Yep,
tomorrow.
I'm 100% sure. I know.
So
yeah.
that means you'll only be able to use Cinder.
Yep, I'm
Okay.
aware.
Just
But
making that clear.
It's been a rollercoaster ride for him too.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll me a D20 perception check for Theurgist, please.
Okay.
If you roll that
That
one as well.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
3 in a row. Let's do it.
No,
Oh,
I
two's
tried-
an
I was-
improvement. That's fine.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's not a nat one.
You know,
Theurgist doesn't fall asleep, but
Anything-
Theurgist sure is exhausted after trying to make sure that he didn't get ropes thrown over him to try and hold him down while they investigated the murders inside the tavern.
That would
So-
have gone badly.
Yeah, that would have. That's why he was holding it together. Romulus, go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw. This is just for your waking up for the final watch. DC is 10 for this, as it always is.
Oh, goodness me. Give me half a tick.
It's alright. I believe technically these are Constitution checks, not saving throws, actually, because it's to wake. Yeah, it's a Constitution check, not save, sorry.
Okay. Well, I'll roll the dice. It's already a nat 1.
Couldn't possibly get any worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a Constitution check. I've got
Yep.
the dummy thick Constitution.
You wake up for your watch. You note that Vinny has passed out of exhaustion. You wake up for your final watch of it all. The orb is otherwise darkened, but the sun has risen at this point.
I think
And-
as I wake up, it's just like, that was a fucking shit show.
Go ahead and roll a perception check, please.
I'm just gonna go to Lloyd, BRB.
Go for it. Yeah, we'll take a quick break after this. Just want to see if anything interesting happens.
Oh, cool.
Dirty 20.
Okay. You look out across the horizon. You don't see anything that would particularly stand out. You can see the town in the distance. Nobody seems to have followed you. Nothing seems to stand out at all during the night. It is what it is. Okay.
I'm going to start preparing breakfast.
Okay. As you begin to prepare breakfast, Mortar, you are otherwise on your own in the forest. Or in the nearby woods, I should say.
That's fine.
You...
Mortar had just climbed up the tree. He had just made himself as comfortable as he can. His mind just racing over the events that happened, and he reaches into his side pouch to the bottle that Kirv gave him before the shit went sideways. I'm just going, I wonder if I could have made some better choices had I not been drunk out of my mind thanks to this shit. And he's got a festering feeling in his gut that's not sitting well with him, so he just goes, probably wouldn't have changed anything anyway, just throws it into the forest.
Okay. You throw it into the forest as you're otherwise bedding down and wake up the next morning, otherwise well rested. You all recover 1 point of exhaustion, except for Theurgist, who now rests and is unavailable this day. The rest of you gain the benefits of a full rest, and we'll now have a quick break.
Mortar.
Huh?
Oh, okay, cool, awesome.
No, it's fine. Did you want to do something specifically?
All I was going to ask was that could Mortar do a little bit of hunting? Like, as we can do that when we get back.
Okay, I'll say. I'll say in this instance, make me a survival check with disadvantage. Not because of exhaustion, but because in this instance it's more of a... If you want to then keep up with the party when it comes to them actually leaving, you'll need to make it short, effectively.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
survival with disadvantage.
Yeah, this will just be for this sort of thing, because it's a... Waking up in the middle of the day is fine for hunting. It's more of a... You haven't got shed loads of time.
I mean, that's still pretty good. That's like a 19, I think.
What's the plus? Plus
Oh
8?
no, I've got a plus 10. A
So
plus 10.
21. Yeah. Easily enough. In this particular countryside, actually, with everything that is going on... I need you to roll me 2d8s, please.
For me?
Yep.
Okay. That's 8 total.
8. Okay.
7 more.
Okay. So, as you're otherwise going out and about hunting during the day, using your pistol or rifle, whatever the case may be, to hunt down some of these creatures, probably the hand cannon, just to stop there being too much sound and alerting them. You otherwise managed to hunt down and find what looks to be 8 Arctic hares. Which is strange, given the landscape currently is very green. But as you're kind of taking this in with that survival roll, I'll also say that the auroras have just been, and the auroras clear up weather. You are incredibly far south, and you can begin to feel chill setting in.
Oh.
So I'll take note of that. He'll pick up the hares and return to where the Lehman's tiny hut was with some breakfast material that Romulus can use if he wants to.
Yeah, and also you do,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Romulus uses them for your food, and that will basically provide today's worth of rations. Okay. With that, we'll take a quick few minutes break there, go and get some drinks, some food, and then we will continue on with the day's travel and anything that you wish to do therein.
Cool.
All right, BRB.
Okay, be back in a mo.
All right.
Yep, BRB.
BRB, GG, no re. No, I actually am staying here for the moment. So.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck me.
yeah, yeah. Oh my god. Jeez. Oh, by the way, welcome back.
Yeah.
What thing to come back to?
Yeah. Well, the reason why the change happened for like the kid no longer being a kid was because I was like, I realize this is something that I am not comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very glad that we were able to come to an agreement on that and get it sorted, because it's nice to know that the well-being's being taken care of. and thought
Oh,
about.
There we go.
understandably so.
Holy shit, that was a absolute shit show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, everybody okay?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I would have
Dave-
preferred to have not had to be in that situation.
Honestly, yeah, seconded. I mean, fair play to Jamie. Like, I mean, that could have gone sideways so fucking badly.
Yeah.
Dear me.
Oh, man. Holy shit.
On the plus side,
We have
We got
rabbits for
through it.
breakfast.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
happy
making
side.
sure to supplement that with some greenery,
Oh, natural.
because
natural.
you know,
I
because
like to think-
otherwise
I like
you
to think-
die.
Well, I like to think that with my, with my 21 survival, I picked out some, just basic, vegetation that we could use, some like herbs and stuff like that I found along the way.
Yeah, probably some
just,
gross ass like grasses and stuff. It's like, oh, you
I
can
was,
pad
I
out a
was
meal
more
with it.
thinking, I was more thinking like some like wild mushrooms and stuff, which I know aren't poisonous, stuff like that. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, you were hunting
yeah,
wild
yeah, so,
mushrooms? Oh, man. This is some
Oh.
active running around mushrooms.
On the note of hunting things like that, Cat's really good at finding berries.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, nice.
She only nearly poisoned herself multiple times.
Nice.
Romulus saved her
Mhm.
multiple times.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh man, holy shit. Dude, literally throughout that entire thing, I just feel my heart rate was just freaking going, dude. I
You
was like,
all
this is
rolled
not good.
very well, despite some of the handling being less than delicate.
Mm.
I know that some of the stuff Romulus was saying was not entirely helpful, but I had to react reasonably.
That's
and,
fine.
No.
You
That
acted-
was, that's
You
completely
acted
fair, dude.
reasonably, that's okay, and then you rolled really well for it to resolve out alright, which I'm perfectly fine with.
Dude, when you when Romulus momentarily lost his shit, I was like, I completely feel that. Like, if I was in Romulus's position, I would be the same. I'd be worse. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought
Poor
there was
cat,
some
dude.
very
Poor
good
cat.
feeling moments there, but at the same time, also like, gah.
yeah, literally, yeah. There was some nail biters there for sure. I was because part of the reason why I wanted to go through the door, and I've completely forgot that my teleport works, where I have to fire and I take the place of the bullet. But I forgot that the door had been knocked down in the previous session. So, in reality, all I had to do was point behind the guard and say, "Look, that guy's unconscious. You
look
can go
over
and look at
there."
him." But, yeah, literally, that's all I had to do. But there you go. Here's how it is.
Oh well.
Impulsive as usual.
Still. So
I
I
mean, that
assume we're
feels
still
very
missing.
Mortar of the thing to do.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does. It works either way. It was just I completely forgot about it, and I thought, oh shit. I even rewatched the VOD and everything to prepare for tonight, and I just didn't get anything.
Well, I mean, these things happen. There is always
that's it.
good and bad that comes from acting in character, and there's always good and bad from, clocking information and not clocking information. Because at the end of the day, it's a stressful situation. Any mistake you make, you can just
that's
say,
exactly what I was gonna say.
you know what? It's a stressful situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you didn't have to try and run out of there or hide in
Yeah,
case you were
sure,
going to
it
be
could've
chased
gone
by
way-
mercenaries. You managed to get out of
It could have
there.
been way worse.
In a good
Like,
situation.
that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Than how
Oh
it's
yeah,
turned out.
so much worse.
Mm.
There's definitely a sour taste in my mouth after it, but like it was the best way it could have been had.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
but
we got out of there,
we got out of there
That's the main-
safe. We got out of there clean. One
Exactly,
thing that we now have to ask is, who the fuck did this? And how
Yeah.
can we prevent this
Well-
from happening again? Because that's
yeah.
super fucked up.
I think it's the
That's
guy
just-
that we're in pursuit of, in fairness.
I mean,
don't know.
possibly, but
I
what
think
if it
it might be. I think it might be the assassins that were said that were supposed to come after Cat, because the actual cloaks were illusions. And I don't think the assassins would want to willingly give away their identities so quickly if they've been in hiding for so long. So I'm starting to think that maybe there's a bit of a blame game. But I guess that's a conversation we can have with everybody, because Vinny, if I remember right, Vinny recognised the pattern of the cloaks.
Correct.
So he should have a little bit more information for us, should he feel like he wants to share it.
Probably do that this morning as we're eating. Because we need
Yeah,
to make sure
sounds like
we're
an
all on the
idea.
same page from this.
I believe we're just
Yeah,
waiting
we
for
definitely
Damian
need to
get
clear
back.
the air for sure.
Yeah, I believe we're just waiting for Damian to get back, because Rebecca, you're back, aren't you?
That'd be a no.
That would be a no.
That would be
Yes.
an absolute no. Oh man,
Chris.
Chris, this session literally shaved years off my life.
You're welcome. Because you know where those lives went?
Such an
They
asshole.
went to me.
Fuck you.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is what I'm good at. Being very, very mean.
Yes.
I'm riding the line of
Except for when you're
emotional
not.
torture.
Chris, you're walking to
it-
Port Solent tomorrow.
Oh,
As ever,
I can at
I
least
will
cycle.
say,
If you see him,
Run him
Love it.
down.
Remove the rear wheel of his bicycle.
the rear wheel. Only the rear wheel. No, in fact, no, let him keep his wheels. Take the spokes.
I was going to
Oh,
say, if I'm
wow.
going to be parking in Port Solent, with my bike, it's going to get the wheels taken anyway, so...
I was gonna say that's true. That's true. Yeah.
True.
Really, you're just hastening the process, really.
Yeah. Yeah, just waiting on Rebecca to get back now.
No worries.
What were you going to say, Harlan?
So this is
which part? Because I no doubt had thousands of things that were going on in my head at once.
That's fine. You were going to say something before they said I'm walking to Port Solent tomorrow.
Oh,
Something about probably how I'm a great DM, but I'm also evil, and you hate me, but at the same time I'm your friend.
I'm not going to say anything in precisely that manner. I will say impactful, emotional, not a card you should play too often.
Oh, I have no intention of
Lest it
playing it
become
often.
painful.
Do not worry.
Oh, that was
that-
painful as is. Like that was definitely a shock factor for sure.
Oh yeah, but shock factor is like.
The
kind of
reason the
loses
shock
out.
factors work is because I blindside my party with it. I've been a DM for almost 8 years, and this is the first time I played that card, and maybe the only time I play that card, and that's the point.
That's the thing. Like it's good for like a one and done kind of thing. Like
Yep.
in terms of like do a bit of it, because it makes the characters have to adapt, doesn't it? So, but like doing it too much can just be like painful. Like Romulus was saying.
Also, Harlan, just to let you know, the DM is your father, according to me. I can't remember the context of how we came to this decision now, Chris. You might have to remind me.
What?
You remind me.
There was a conversation that Chris and I had a little earlier, and we worked out that apparently Chris is Harlan's father, and I can't quite remember the context now.
I mean, if we're talking about Romulus's dad, if you wanna kin that motherfucker, you go for it.
No, I cannot remember this conversation in context, which has me worried.
I feel like if Romulus is the son of Chris, that would mean that Romulus gains an ability later called plot armor.
He should already have
Like,
it.
that's definitely a thing.
He should have gotten that
That
level 1.
exists. It's the lucky feat.
Yeah, you know
That's
what?
true. That is true. That is true. Dude, you gotta get me some of that.
No, I am not giving Harlan the lucky feat. I learnt my lesson with Burn.
Okay, I would like it known that I feel that it is a feat in the game, and it's perfectly balanced in all ways.
Is there an unlucky feat?
No, there is actually a feature now, though.
Oh.
That should be a curse. Like that should be a curse that you can give.
Yeah, the DM decides, like, oh yeah, actually, no, you just
literally.
roll that with disadvantage.
The DM is just like, you're doing a little too well. Let's knock you down a little bit.
I mean, that would be an interesting way to balance the lucky feat. You get 3 uses of lucky, and then for them to automatically recharge, the DM gets to just give you disadvantage.
Yeah.
So just a glorified Tides of Chaos.
Yeah.
But
I have to give you disadvantage in order for you to get one of your lucky points back.
That's quite funny. I like that.
I'm not going to use that.
As
I'm
well.
not going to use that because I know that we were going to give lucky to Vinny this campaign, or the option to pick it for Vinny this campaign.
You hear the sound of
I've
Simon
been-
shaking on the other side.
If he doesn't
Simon's
take
like,
it, can
what?
I take it?
I
If he
mean,
doesn't take it,
at that
you'll
point
take
it's level 19, so yeah. But
Yes, I've been trying to figure out what I want to take and when, based on how many
anyway,
options I have. I believe it's still my intention to take lucky at some point.
but either way, we have the whole party back. So, with breakfast had and the day before you, well, most of the day. Waking up at around probably 10 a.m. Hey, you're all me. You otherwise all begin to make your trek and journey towards the city, I assume, or are you taking other routes?
Has Mortar come back?
Yes, he's come
Yes,
back with rabbits,
yes,
and
he
Romulus
returned.
has cooked them into
Returned.
stew.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Notably, the
Sorry,
fur on
so-
them is white.
Okay.
So, are you travelling for the day?
So,
I think first things
Yes.
first.
first things first, yes.
Yeah. What the fuck happened?
Good question. Poisoned, does that persist?
Poisoned would have faded. It was only an hour long poison.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Short answer, we don't know.
Do we have any idea who did this?
I'll take that silence as a no.
I have no idea who has.
I have suspicions, but I need to confer with the rest of you before coming to a conclusion.
Did anyone recognize anything looking at them?
No.
Also, Chris, did I recognize anything looking at them?
No.
Okay, cool.
They were just non-distinct. Mine was relatively tall.
Chris, which
you-
of my siblings could have done specifically this with the whole mental manipulation thing?
I don't think you know any that would be able to. I mean,
Oh,
there
I
are,
think I know at least one that would be able to.
there are
I
a
don't think
few
it would
that
be-
have the money to do that sort of thing.
Yeah. But he's out of the competition. No.
This is true. He is, but well, as far as you're aware, anyway.
I trust that one.
I need to
Trust
find
your
your.
sibling?
I need to
I
find
trust
your list.
Some of them.
You're asking me to get your list of NPCs. Let me find it.
Actually, on the note, if you lose your thing,
Yeah.
can you take someone else's?
Yeah.
So you're not completely out of the running then.
Not completely.
No,
but,
it's just those without them.
but that-
Some of them are out of the
without
running
that-
permanently, like Agaran, who's dead.
I'm still surprised at that.
I mean, that's
Unless
what...
he's faked his death.
You'll find out. I'm trying to see if any of them do
Hey,
have
death is a great
mental
spell.
magic abilities that would be befitting of this level of stuff.
Is
I mean-
the best way to win a competition. Pretend you're not even in it any longer.
Yeah, for sure. Bamboos
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
game. Well, we know for a fact that Cat's got assassins after her, and the message that was broadcasted from whatever sent the message within her stated that one of their ilk was in this group.
Oh, we're back to that conversation.
Yeah, but I
Could
don't.
I-
I don't genuinely believe it's anyone here, and if it is, then it's beyond any of you lot. It could be
That
something
may be.
Recall
really.
what we discussed last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. First of all, could I ask you all to confirm the illusions that your attackers were wearing? The cloaks and hoods, what did they look like?
I give the best description I can.
Yeah, same, because I
Maybe.
didn't actually acknowledge, or I was never described, but yes.
It was
I mean, I had
described.
a very
think they
good
were like-
look. I had a very good look.
Yeah, but I wasn't here, Chris.
No, I know. Romulus and Cat, I'd say you two are more caught up in the shock at the moment that you don't remember clearly. For players who
Damien
remember,
got stabbed twice, so no.
no,
They were silver, and they had an emblem on them, I believe.
they were grey with a silver lining.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, no emblem on them.
Okay.
And supposedly Vinny recognised it.
Yes.
So it was the same look for everyone then.
Well, at least from my angle, anyway.
So now it's
Wondered
too
if it might
busy
have
putting
been-
his head in.
I wondered if it might have been personalised or something. But that cloak is where all of the problems started for me.
Oh.
With my other friends, my old party, I was in a bar with them, celebrating, and one of us, our leader, came over and said we had a job. One of the people in that cloak was with him.
Did they have an affiliation, like a guild or something?
I never knew, because the next thing I remember, almost a year had passed.
Wait, what? You got a missing year in your life?
Yes, we've
Yeah,
long
it's-
established this.
It's memories that sealed him.
I was probably in New Zealand. Just gonna say that out.
This is news to me as well.
Yes,
news to me
this
as well.
was something that was revealed the session after you went to New Zealand.
Typical.
Typical lazy Jamie.
I'm a year out of date. My apologies.
No, actually, what happened is we were waiting for you to fuck off before getting to the interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Well, if you have missing memories, why don't you just let me take a peek, see if I can unravel them for you? If I've done similar things before, I can give it a crack.
Well, I let Kat try something like that, and she almost died. But you can try.
Yeah, sure, give it a go.
Difference is, if Cat dies, the world ends. If I die, not much changes. So I don't see what we're losing here.
I'm just going to like physically pick up Mortar. You are part of our party. You are not allowed to suggest that your death is an acceptable loss. Do you understand?
Mortar doesn't reply, and just looks at Vinny, just waiting for an answer.
I shake you a little, and then I put you down like, and I'm just muttering, "Motherfucking self-deprecating bastard." Just a grumpy old man rumbles.
Let me go through the rest of the details first, and then we can make a decision.
All right.
I have a few hazy memories. Not much in specifics, but we had apparently we were working on a job and it didn't go well. Something to do with a dragon. None of us died, but it was a close thing. I don't remember this, but when Cat looked into my mind, apparently someone in those cloaks was there with us.
In the memories.
In the memory, yes. I don't know if that means they were there in real life.
Okay, do you suspect maybe that what we're trying to deal with now might well be associated with that lost year of your life?
I have wondered. The next clear memory is of waking up surrounded by death.
That doesn't sound good.
Two of my friends were dead, as were a number of people in those robes. As was a dragon. I'm just remembering that, Amicus.
Don't suppose you kept any of it, did you?
No. The recollection which you would remember is that it was a young blue dragon.
Not
Could
an
have
easy
made a
feat.
lightning sword.
It was a tense situation. I tried to get out of there.
That's fair enough. I just thought I'd ask.
Didn't even figure out how it died.
Well, logic
Would've been
would
worth knowing in
dictate
hindsight.
that. Logic would dictate that if you were the only one who were left standing, you did it.
Damian's got.
You're the only one who walked away, right?
Damian's obviously got a very odd sense of humour at the moment. He's just going to quip under his breath. Maybe of old age.
A young blue dragon that died of old age.
Young blue dragons surrounded by loads of dead people. Maybe it just died of old age.
Yeah, another
Who's to
few
say?
100 years, and yeah.
That is a question. At what point does a dragon stop getting more powerful and actually, like, age badly.
I
It can-
don't know if they can.
They can become stunted. So dragons, if typically like put in a situation where they would be in quote unquote captivity or they're otherwise sealed away, they don't
BRB.
grow in
Midlife
size,
crisis.
so they don't get the extra like health upgrade, but they just get older.
Yeah, it's a midlife crisis.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it just paints its scales red instead.
It's not a phase, Mom.
My God.
I'm a red dragon now.
I've entered my 30s, midlife crisis.
30th millennia.
Yeah. Anyway, Vinny, carry on.
The only things I recovered from there were my friend's book, a ledger of his contacts. I'll pull it out to show everyone.
Okay.
So pull out a damaged but still somewhat intact tome. And that sword.
Wait, what sword?
The
You saw that during
Cursed
Wizard Con
one
when
that I
Jamie
had.
wasn't with you.
it was a cursed sword I had that we had difficulty identifying. But from what we were able to learn, it grows stronger the more blood it spills. That was... I pulled it out of Numbers' chest, and from what I can understand, Cassius used to wield it.
It's a shame I've been called away, because I suspect that the, hang on, not Plague Knights, the
Reliquary Knights?
Yeah, in the garrison.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
The-
yeah,
yeah.
they would have been able to help. Potentially. They might have known.
They might have known.
Well, it's gone now. It's back in his hands. That's how I was...
Destroyed?
No.
Stolen?
In a manner of speaking.
Oh.
I swapped it back in the village, and in the few days it took us to get back there, someone matching Cassius' description showed up and claimed it.
Cassius is alive as far as you know?
As far as I'm aware, he wasn't among the bodies when I came back too. And he was always a survivor.
Okay.
I knew that he and Carvern had survived. When we went to see the oracles, I was told that one of my friends was hunting the other. Since I was following Carvern, I assumed it was that way round, but it appears I was mistaken. That he is hunting her. Which is why
yes,
I really need to get to her quickly.
Got you. I understand. And we're literally only a town away from where we're intending to go, where Carbon is supposed to be held?
We don't know where she is. She's at a shrine or a temple to a dead god.
But in this area, probably, from what we understand. Like, you know?
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of historical documentation as to which gods worshippers used to reside around here before the main city was built, or some event where they were chased out and the god was declared dead, essentially.
I was hoping that the city would be a good place to search for that.
I agree. I suppose the question on my mind is, what's the correlation between initially, like, if they were able to get into our rooms and they have a vendetta against you, why didn't they all just kill you and leave before we even woke up? Why would they target us?
I think it's because we all have information in regards to what they're doing. We know who we're hunting.
That's
I don't
true.
know, something doesn't sit right with me about that.
Because myself and Mortar would know in their heart of hearts.
Yeah. It feels to me more like this is a blame game. This is a declaration of, if these assassins or these people who used to work with Vinny really were there, they could have killed us without any issue by the sounds of things. They sound more than capable. And the fact that their cloaks were illusions, to me, makes it seem more like this was a setup from another party.
Or a statement not to interfere.
The dragon's accomplices.
Oh no!
You mean Starlight's accomplices?
Damn! Bible!
Oh no! Wait, Starlight is the disguised dead young blue dragon?
Starlight failed the deck
Oh,
saving
wow.
throw. Starlight is dead.
Yes!
Do it.
Now, if only I knew Fireball.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, if
you
he's
can
dead, it's
cast
no wonder
it,
why
just
he's
not
so grumpy.
intentionally.
Yeah, it's true.
Go up and keep casting mage armor until you blow yourself up with fireball.
Well, we're burning daylight just staying here. We could head to the city and see if we can find any clues about your mystery assailants, Vinny, and find your
There's one other
friend.
thing. I don't suppose any of you have heard of the Ring of the Worm, have you?
The Ring of the Worm? Where did you hear about that?
How's that?
Unless it was in a book, I wouldn't have.
No, I'd say none of you would be familiar with it.
Oh, come on, I was going to do a whole bit.
I know you were, but you hesitated.
That's why he stopped you.
I was waiting for other people to finish. Oh, never mind. The bit was entirely me just going, you've heard of the Ring of the Worm. What do you know of the Ring of the Worm? And you eventually like, well, what do you know? Oh, fucking nothing. I'm just listening to you talk.
Yeah, you are eligible to enter a secret brotherhood with not having a clue what's going on.
The Brotherhood of the Ring of the Worm?
A secret cult?
Well, if you would have mentioned they were involved. But, no, fair enough. Apparently it's what we were after, so maybe it's important.
Right. Well, it sounds like it's something draconic.
Let's second that. Regardless, the more time we spend sitting here, the longer your friend is going to be waiting for us to come and get her.
Correct. So, we head to town. We should try and keep our heads down. It only takes one person from the village doing something stupid, and then we're in a whole other mess.
If at all possible, as much as I like sleeping in a bed, I think it might be beneficial for us to sleep together and in the tiny hut.
It's
I
a
know that's-
reasonable precaution until we find out what's going on. Yeah.
So we want to set up camp outside of the city, a little distance away.
Yeah. Or book
Just-
like one room that we can all just sort of like squish into.
Yeah. Well, no, they would have to be large enough to squish all of you into it, which at the end of the day
Stable.
would mean you'd probably, well, other than a stable, you'd probably have to get what would be the equivalent of a suite, so it would be more expensive.
So right,
But if we
Damian
only
is
need to
sleeping
get
in a stable.
one,
Yeah, if you only need to get one, it will still cost 10 gold. It's a luxury suite for the rich people.
How long is it going to take to get to the city that we're trying to get to?
Bad day's travel. Depending on how your travel roll goes today, you could get there before dark, or you might not get there today.
Okay, it's...
If we're planning on camping out outside, it might not be the worst thing either way.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
But
But we've got to be ready if next time they don't attack us at night. Just going through a busy area. If they've got that kind of power, who knows?
It would be prudent to have people being ever watchful,
That's
which I suppose
true.
would mean no go. Which I suppose would mean we at least pair up.
Pairing up doesn't
That's-
sound like a bad idea.
At the very least, we know that this is a possibility now.
All right, let's pack up our things. Let's get moving. Burning daylight.
Okay.
Great.
Which is impressive. Burning daylight is very impressive.
Honestly,
Burning starlight, on the
it's a
other hand,
skill.
isn't.
Yeah, burning
Oh no,
starlight,
give
that's
it
not
time.
impressive.
We'll be there.
So,
But burning daylight.
travelling throughout the day, I imagine one of you is keeping watch, which is probably Mortar, given the advantage and high perception roll. So go ahead and roll that for me, Mortar. And then...
No more disadvantage, baby.
Yeah, I know. You got advantage instead. So who would like to be the one to roll the 2d12s today?
Oh, it's been a hot minute.
That is very good.
Very
That's
lovely.
a
28.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's the 20. Yeah, sorry, 28.
yeah.
27,
Your head
28.
is on a swivel. Nothing is not getting past you without your notice. We'll get to that in a
I got
bit.
double nines.
18.
The Nine of Spades.
Okay. So, you otherwise travel. It is unimpeded for the entire day. You otherwise get to the... you otherwise continue on, and in fact, you arrive at the outskirts of the city as night begins to fall.
Those really are the mighty nines!
I know. But don't be praising them just yet. I've got to describe the city first.
Oh no.
Looking out across...
That's the wrong city.
It's not bad. It's the wrong city. Looking out across the horizon as you begin to kind of see the city come into view, you see that it looks to be almost this large, kind of almost icy blue structure at first. And you're very confused as to why the whole city would be painted in such a manner. Mortar, you're the first to see it with that monstrous perception check, as the rest of you are otherwise wandering, kind of ambling forward. You notice that the entire city isn't seemingly all painted blue, as you can see what looks to be grey stone walls below, and what looks to be a large walled settlement that is built up and inside of what looks to be a gargantuan, almost ice structure. And as you begin to look up and towards it, you can see what looks to be a head and a hand stretching out of the mountain encased in ice of what looks to be a titanic skeletal form frozen in place with a city built around it.
Like a humanoid skeleton?
Yes,
Or-
several
I
thousand
think we may
feet
have
tall.
found our, it's possible we may have just found our dead god.
Welcome to Ovok Grow. As it begins to get dark and you can look upon it, you see the ominous form of this massive skeletal titan, its hand reaching out, as if emerging from the stone itself before frozen in place. You can see that there are buildings and sets of structures that are built up and inside of some of the ice on the lower sections, and below the large structure itself. You begin to see fresh snowfall beginning to fall now as the winds begin to get colder and icier. But more notably, you notice what looks to be a small mob of people standing at the entrance to the city on the western side, where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
With that encounter roll today, You've made it to the city, as have the people who may have been taken less kindly to your past judgment in Nin'Bero.
By the way, to clarify, we have all had a long rest, right?
Yes, you've all had a long rest, you've all recovered from point of exhaustion. You see, standing outside the gate, what look to be a few kind of civilians standing there with torches. They've set up tents around outside the exterior, and you can see what looks to be the local guard standing there in this brilliant crystalline blue armor, and what looks to be a spear in one hand and a large shield in the other. As they're otherwise kind of keeping watch, you can see one individual kind of pacing across the top of the guardhouse itself. Just the three of them. One on each side of the gate and one on the top, as they're kind of keeping an eye in this brilliant armor. The people below are seemingly keeping an eye out. And at this point, I would like everyone to make me stealth checks, please. With advantage, because Mortar rolled incredibly high on his perception. You are trying to beat a 12.
It should be hard to mess up.
Don't say that.
I just watched Kirv roll a 1 and a 4 with advantage, so...
It's fine,
And Damian, this is a flat roll for you, because obviously you're wearing heavy armor. And
Oh
you're on
yeah,
that-
with a -2, so yeah, I'm never going to succeed unless
You-
I like roll a
you
14
might.
or higher.
What's 19 plus 2?
Oh wow, that's a miracle.
19 plus 2,
21.
21. So, did anybody get below 12?
I got 28.
Yeah.
I asked below 12.
Yeah, I got 28. I can't
I got-
make
You
I
can't
got
math.
6.
Alright, so 28 is a
Really
fail.
is that bad
So
at
28 is a fail, confirmed
Yeah.
now. Good to know.
Yep, no, it is.
Luckily, I
However-
got 21.
Yeah, which is higher than 28. And,
Rebecca?
and Kirv, you got
Yeah.
below 12.
Yeah, I got a 6. However,
However,
could I disguise myself to look like somebody else? With disguised self.
I will say with
clever.
the group stealth check, you haven't been noticed despite the failure from Kat and
Okay.
yourself.
Oh,
But
It's not a bad
But,
idea in
um,
general.
but depending on what you guys want to do, if you want to try and get into the city today, you don't know how long they're going to camp outside this city. They might only stay here a day. They might leave. They might go into the city and then start rabble rousing. Who knows? We're looking at an interesting scenario, and how do you want to handle it?
I'd say go
Not gonna
around the
make a
other
move.
side of the city because they're not going to really expect that.
Okay, so
You're
you're
not
going to...
going to make a move. The guards are right there. They can't make a move.
In fairness,
They only need to
True.
find us.
Well,
But
at least they're being
maybe the guards
comfortable
are
and
on
safe.
their side. You don't know yet.
Well,
Doesn't pay to assume.
I don't think the guards would act out of unjust, let go. But then
Yeah,
again, I
but
don't know the other kingdom.
depending on how convincing they've been.
And they're probably just trying to stop violence coming in. What happens outside isn't in their jurisdiction.
Yeah. They might be willing to, deny us entry just to make things easier.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then we should do everything in our power to get inside the city first.
Yes. Hence,
Things will be much easier for us once we can do that.
so let's go around the other side.
So you're going to go around the other
It's a little
side?
bit more of a walk, but
No,
we'll
that's true.
survive.
It begins to get to night, which will work in your favour here. So go ahead and roll me a group stealth check again. This will just be a flat roll, but I'm going to be rolling disadvantage on their perception checks this time round. So, you are trying to beat a 5.
Oh, I'm
So what role is this?
So, Damian, you have disadvantage on this.
Sorry.
Stealth, yeah.
Disadvantage,
That's just a flat
probably.
roll this time, except for Damian, who has disadvantage.
18.
lucky. I got a 6.
That was a stealth, sorry, Rebecca.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine.
No advantage. Just flat.
No, just a flat roll.
That's 8, 9.
Did anybody get below a 5?
I got
No,
4.
I got a 7.
Oh no!
So we have.
I got an 18, so I'm good.
So we have one failure. So here's how I'm gonna. Here's how I'm gonna play this. Cat, as you're otherwise going along, you realise that there's a small problem with your current setup. As it begins to get dark, Cinder is out. And she's lighting up like a beacon, a giant flaming elemental in the middle of a landscape which is now beginning to snow. It is at this point that a number of the villagers who were kind of preparing for your arrival seem to note the sudden bright light in the distance, and a few of them begin to head in your direction. They don't know it's you lot yet, but they are suspecting. So, Mortar, do you want to start making attack rolls yet, or?
I really do. Mortar's plan is to basically run off to the side, make as much noise as he can, and shoot at people. But you know,
I would suggest not doing that.
He's on a tight leash with these guys, and he's kind of like, if I do this, I'm just going to piss people off again, and I am not in the mood to be dealing with anyone else's bullshit except for my own. So I will sit still. I will hold my action for to attack with my sniper rifle when given the command.
Okay.
That's never going to happen, so that's fine.
So what's the party going to do?
The only logical idea in my mind is attempt to obfuscate ourselves. There's got to be ways we can hide who we are.
Stop using your fancy words. What does obfuscate mean?
Hide.
Okay.
Give me time. Yeah.
Cat, can you...
Give me them
Also,
simple
it's a
words.
great word. Look it up.
I know it's a great word, but I don't know what it means.
Right. Alright, I have an idea. This is going to be weird. I'm going to cast Summon Elemental and summon a Fire Elemental. And as that goes off, Cinder back in her crystal. And I'm going to tell the Fire Elemental just to walk in that direction.
Oh.
What's that direction?
The opposite direction to what we're going in.
Okay. So the opposite direction, heading.
So basically, if we're heading like around to the left, it's heading around to the right.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Am I understanding correctly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you're heading around to the left, it's heading around to the right. Got it. Okay.
In which case, we've headed south.
How much health does that elemental have?
I'm also going to tell it no fighting. The elemental... Oh, it's just a normal elemental, Chris. I think it has 40 hit points. Yeah, I've only got the customized ones, which I haven't got my staff yet.
Summon elemental spell has the... Oh, gosh darn it, I have to go find the elemental spirit stat block. 50 health. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be fun. So, as you otherwise send the elemental off into one direction, you move around the other. The townsfolk seem to wander over to it, and then they realise what it is and they wander away. You have otherwise made it past. You're going to continue round the other way. As you're otherwise kind of keeping an eye on this, heading in the other direction, you watch as there is this very harsh blue light or beam, and your elemental disappears.
Oh no.
Wow.
Where did the beam come from?
The city. Notably, the person standing on top of the gate. Seemingly a very powerful, very long-range ice magic spell.
Maybe if
Not
they're...
ideal.
Maybe they don't like fire.
What is it with
Wonder
cities that
why?
hate fire?
It's a frozen city. Let me have a think.
Oh, maybe this thing could wake up. That's actually not the worst explanation.
That would be a good distraction. We could get in the city. What's left of it?
And wake up the dead.
Yeah, I'm sure that would go fine. Yeah, don't mind me.
That would explain the whole vision that Leo's having to deal with of a deceased world.
Just, guys, you can build your house somewhere else.
But it's interesting. Also, fire is allowed. It's just fire elemental isn't.
That
Yeah,
is
no, fair.
reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, a
Jeez,
roaming
just
fire
fire
elemental when
elemental.
some civilians run back from it and tell the guards, and the guards are like, all right, pew. Then, you know,
Yeah,
pew
fair.
pew.
That's fine. It,
Pew pew.
yeah, no, the
it
place...
wasted their time, which is what we needed.
Yes. So, you otherwise go round to the northern entrance. I am just going to do a quick roll to see if they are here. No,
Wait,
they are
you're
not.
going left.
Yeah, you went left
Correct.
round the city heading north. So you headed around to the northern side of the city.
So where did the fire rental go? It's going right.
It
Oh,
went,
that's
it
into
went
the
south
wall.
towards
Yeah.
the mountains.
Right. Okay, I understand now.
Basically, just trying to draw its attention away from us.
Yeah, it went
Yeah.
south towards the mountains, which is kind of towards the giant shards of ice, and so as a result got shot. But anyway. So, you otherwise head round the northern side of the city, and you begin travelling into the city itself. It is nighttime, and there are people around and about. Not many, mind, but there are people. There are a number of people who are otherwise talking and chatting as you're moving through the main thoroughfare here. It is what looks to be a kind of a simple, well-worn stone path through here. The buildings themselves made of the same kind of a greyish stone, with the large looming sections of this icy crystal that rises up to form and otherwise encapture this large titanic skeleton. You can see a large number of buildings throughout the area, and you can see people wearing cloaks. You can see Orcan individuals, you can see Goliath individuals, you can see Minotaurs, you can see what looks to be Dwarves, and a lot of races otherwise scattered throughout this area. It is a reasonably diverse thing, but you can see a lot of people wear not necessarily insignias, but colours, matching that almost like banners or bannermen.
I guess, well, we find someone who knows, like maybe a library or something, where we can look up information on the Temple of a Dead God or some shit.
I'm good
Night,
at
we need
libraries.
to sleep.
I mean, it's getting close to I was going to say it's getting close to around about 11 o'clock at this point, but people are still out and about a little bit.
I need somewhere to sleep in a stable with starlight. I like how you're guffawing at that. That's what Damian's doing. He's not sleeping in a room tonight. He's sleeping with starlight in a stable.
I think the stable's going to be outside.
That's fine. If Damian ends up freezing to death, that was an unfortunate way to go. He's not sleeping in a room after last night.
So you're all travelling through the city. Is there any way that you're trying to find settlements, or not settlements, inns or anything like that for resting, or...
Well,
Play-
didn't we just
Just
agree
ask
that we
around.
weren't going to be inside with people?
Or that we'd find a place that is inside that we can set up a Lehman's tiny hut in.
Yes. So like a
So-
Or I
large
can
room
lock
or
stake the door.
And there's that too. Yeah, we can be a lot more cautious now and take a lot more precautions.
Mhm.
And buddy up as well. No more of this one room to one person stuff. We buddy up.
It's okay, I got starlight.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that I wasn't in a room with Cat already.
They
We were
only had
told that
single
they
rooms.
weren't big enough.
Yeah, we were told they weren't big enough, so that's fine. Alright. I guess I can go around and just ask, like, does anybody know like a good tavern or some shit where we can get some
Okay.
get some rooms?
You're just going to approach one of the people?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You approach one person, what looks to be kind of this female dwarf, otherwise standing there, kind of has a pipe in her mouth as you otherwise approach. Sup?
Hey, don't suppose you know of any good taverns around this place? Relatively new around here.
Taverns. There are a few.
Dive bars, inns, I don't give a shit, I just need a place to sleep.
Need a place to sleep? You're looking for inns, not taverns then. Unless you're looking to sleep on a table.
Okay, smartass. Let's hurry this along, shall we?
That's no way to talk to a lady.
You're a lady?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're right.
Shoots you a glance.
I would have said Romulus would not have said that was purely an out of character joke.
Shoots Harlan a glance, looks up into the sky.
Oh,
That's fair.
damn.
Oh shit! Fuck me.
Harlan begins sweating.
What's your name?
Why? You looking to get familiar?
Depends on you. What's your name?
Gives you a look, though with a cheeky smile. You can call me Ruby.
Ruby. Mortar. Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Now, about those accommodations.
Alright. Just looking for simple bed and board?
Yeah, we're not going to be here long.
There's the frost-felt finger. That's a good one.
Am I within earshot of this conversation?
Yes.
Oh.
I wish to incite that character. I want to make sure that they're not what I'm really concerned they are at 11 at night as a woman with a pipe in the middle of the street.
Called Ruby.
Well, what
Go
if
for
she
it.
is?
Why would you
Is
be
it because you
concerned
want her
about that?
services?
No, I'm concerned that we're about to end up staying in the brothel and it won't be the whole party, it'll just be Mortar.
No,
Go for it.
Mortar is-
I
Mortar
hope
is
you
dead.
realise. Okay, look.
There's a
Are you
child in the
saying
party. Get your head
that
out of the gutter.
she is just doing her job, and honestly, you
Exactly.
should support her.
It's tough times. It's tough times here.
Yeah,
nothing
it's
wrong
a
with her
cold
argument.
city. Keep
In
her
which case-
warm. Come
In which
on,
case, I
Damian.
welcome Cat's Fireball.
This is when the party turns up at a brothel and is like, oh, you say you'll do anything for 200 gold? Cool, get out.
Oh, that's a natural one on Damian. No, it's not a brothel at
Perfect
all.
design.
It's a perfectly
just
legitimate
don't have-
inn.
Hey, in fact, actually, a brothel might actually be a good place. No one's going to think to look for us there if they are chasing us. Just saying.
But Cat probably won't be allowed in.
But yeah, but Cat's like grown up like 3 years or something.
No.
Right?
No,
Oh no.
Did that get undone?
Stop it.
No.
Did that get undone?
No.
God.
don't even go there.
Oh, okay.
How old is Cat biologically at the
15.
moment?
15.
Still not great.
Still not
No.
great.
Still not great. Any other places other than the Frostfelt Finger? I've had a few of those in my time, and it doesn't normally go too well.
Well, you're no fun then, are you?
Well, I am. I just have different tastes.
She otherwise looks at you.
Romulus shows up. Hello.
Oh, hi there. There's a lot of you to go around.
Nice, Ruby. Nice to see you again. And then just move on without any context.
I've seen a lot of Minotaurs in my time. Can't say I remember you, but I sure would like to remember.
Oy.
I think she said you had a small dick, Romulus.
She is welcome to think what she likes.
You'll find out.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, even if it's wrong.
Yeah.
He's got Polar Master.
For sure.
There's a reason I needed some assistance in my large weapon. I actually don't have a Polar Master yet. I went for
Oh.
Would you say?
Great
Would
weapon
you say it's a
master
two-handed weapon? Requires strength to use.
Yes, actually, that is entirely my entire build.
Ah, perfect.
I
Well,
still
you
look-
asked for a tavern. We'll assume that that's a tavern.
Look, Ruby, we're looking for a place that would be suitable for a child, not an establishment that might not be.
Alright, that's fair, that's fair.
Appreciate that.
Go to the left rib. That's quite a good one.
the left rib.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm gonna.
She otherwise kind of rubs her fingers in almost gestures like a
no,
gimme motion.
I'm like, oh, I pass her a gold.
Yeah, she takes it.
Mortar's already walked away by this point, knowing Romulus is going to pay for it.
Yeah, she takes it and kind of begins to just kind of roll it down her knuckles and then rolls it back and just kind of gives you a smile and a wink.
I appreciate it. I would consider it on another night, not tonight.
Well, you know where to find me.
All right. Stay safe and keep warm. It's going to be a chilly one, I suspect.
It won't be chilly for another few days.
This is fair. Oh, well.
Damian's mind is broken due to natural one, where his suspicion was unproven and now seems to be proven, and he's just going round in a circle. Logic circuit is broken.
This can't be the
T-posing.
case. Okay.
All right. Well, we found a place. It's
Okay.
called the Left Rib. We can head there. Hopefully, it should be accommodating to what we want.
Okay. Heading through town as best you can, I would like someone to go ahead and make me a survival test, please.
If you've not got disadvantage, might as well be Mortar.
Yep, no disadvantage,
Right.
so it would just be a flat roll.
I'm happy to provide the help action if I can, but
Yeah, I'll say that's fine. So advantage on this, so that's a 7, or...
Oh, okay. So 7 or
2! So
So-
that's a 17, I believe.
so 17 total. Yeah.
Yeah. Takes you a little bit of time to get there, asking a few other individuals for where the directions to the left rib. They point towards the skeleton several times, and you're like, oh, okay, ha ha ha. And then they kind of point in a direction, and you head there. And then eventually you reach what looks to be a rising surface where you can see that a tavern has been built right next to the left rib. Or
Love
one
it.
of the left ribs of the large titan that's sticking out of the mountain.
I don't suppose by any chance you've watched The Owl House, have you, Chris?
I have, yes.
Yes,
Just
we watched it.
thought I'd mention.
We
Mhm.
binged it for like a whole couple of weeks.
Yeah,
It is a good
Oh
show.
my
it
days.
is. Of course. Yeah.
But that
I
huge
I never had a place that I wanted to watch it for so long and didn't have a place to watch it, and then it suddenly showed up and Brick was like, oh, do you want to watch this? And I was like, yes. Anyway. I've been looking for this for months. But you otherwise, oh no, not but, rib. You otherwise head into the place. It looks like a fairly large establishment, built across what looks to be 3 tiers of kind of scaling upwards and closer towards you building-wise, with each of the tiers above getting smaller as the ice is pushing away from it. But you can see that the ice has sections cut out of it where windows are. There are rooms here built into the ice, it would seem. You can see that there are what looks to be simple flower pots that have been put out this time of year. You can see that there are overhangs of all sorts here, small tables. There are people outside currently enjoying a little bit of kind of a late night smoke, and just kind of enjoying themselves outside. And you head inside and you can see what looks to be a draconian individual of what looks to be the white scale variety with pepperings of black and silver mixed in. You otherwise head in the individual, otherwise it's late at night, but you can see that the place is still very busy as they otherwise look over at you arriving. Ah, welcome, new faces in town, and a Centaur, and I'm a Knight of Paloon. What do I owe the honour?
Good evening. We are looking for accommodations, and we've heard that you guys come highly recommended.
Aye, we do
So if you'd
indeed.
like to set us up with a room.
Of course, of course.
Are we looking for one room, guys?
One room
Is
for all
one
of you?
large room a possibility?
We do suites, yes.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
we'll go
How
for one
much?
nice.
Suite in this place. Prime spot. Don't think we got any that are taken at the moment, so you've missed the Auroras, so the prices have gone down, so probably 6 gold. That'll include
I'll-
bread and board, so you'll obviously get food in the morning.
I put forward 2.
Perfect.
Let me go to my inventory.
I'll put forward two as well.
I'll put forward 9 copper.
Helpful, Mortar. Helpful.
That's all I have.
Mm,
That's literally all of my money.
Keep
Okay,
your 9 copper.
I'm
She
going
shoot-
to move.
she
I'm going to
shoes will
give you.
change.
I'm going to like literally just hand over 5 silver to Mortar. Just be like, that was just sad.
Also, I will say much obliged and pocket it.
Okay.
I'll put down the last 2 gold.
Okay.
I have got that.
Okay, so you 2 gold from Cat, Vinny, and Romulus. As you otherwise put the gold down, takes them. Thank you. Here's your key for the lot for you all. and otherwise hands it to you. What looks to be almost this kind of, it's a bright silver, like you would expect from kind of a polished iron key, with what looks to be flecks and veins of blue running through it.
I motion to the horse that I'm obviously still, holding by the reins in presumably the reception.
I'd say you're standing outside. It's not far for all of it, but you otherwise kind of wave in. She goes, there's otherwise a way station maybe 2 stops down if you go back down the stairs from where you came up the slope. You can otherwise leave your horse there. So long as you got a name and tag for it, they won't lose.
That's all right. I'll be staying with him tonight.
He's very attached to the horse.
That's
Don't read too deeply into it.
no,
Yeah.
that's fine. We have plenty of people who do sleep with their animals. It's cheaper. It might stink for him though. With the horse isn't common around here, that's for sure. But anyhow,
Okay.
you're welcome to order some food or some drinks if you want. Otherwise, take to your beds whenever you need to. If you've had a haggard day.
No, I've lost my appetite for alcohol recently. Mortar will trudge upstairs.
We don't have just alcohol, but yeah. Anything you want?
Milkshakes?
We do. They're not as pretty as the ones in the north, but we do.
As long as they taste good. Can I have a milkshake, please?
What's your tolerance to sour? Well, sweet and sour, I should say. Not the source, just the 2 flavors.
I like sweet.
Sweet and sour flavored milkshake.
I like sweet. I don't.
She prefers souls.
Have you ever tried sherbet, Cat?
No.
Right. Do you remember
no.
when you were feeling a little bit grim one day, and I made you some honey and lemon?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, lovely.
Maybe think that, but amped up a little bit.
Yeah. It'll be, we otherwise do gooseberry and cranberry milkshakes.
Oh,
Sweet with a bit of sweet with a bit of dry. No, that's the mixture. The gooseberry and cranberry. Sweet,
okay.
Sweet with a bit of dry and good flavors.
You don't know until you try.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked fish.
If you liked fish, you might like this, but they're not the same. But no, that's fine.
No, I didn't know I liked fish until I tried fish.
Mhm.
Then I liked fish.
Anything you want to eat?
I'll
Waffles?
just have a milkshake too.
All right, milkshake for you. We don't do sweet at this hour. We do sweet in the morning, but not this hour, I'm afraid.
Okay. It looks at Romulus, who's always been telling her to eat healthily, properly. Salad?
Aww.
We have a few like winter greens, but they're going to be quite strong.
Oh, that's unfortunate for me. Whichever you think is nicest.
All right.
Don't worry. I will help make sure it's something that is both tasty and healthy.
Okay.
We probably still have some of that leftover rabbit, to be fair.
Are we thinking,
We've used it
is this a situation where I could get involved in the cooking at all, or could I at
Not-
least know what
No,
what we're working with?
No, you wouldn't be able to
In
get
that
involved in the
case-
cooking, but you would be able to like see a full menu and stuff if you wanted to.
In that case, could we
If
get
there's a suite
the?
upstairs, would we not
could
have
we
enough
get-
room to cook something?
Yeah, but fire though.
You're not supposed to
Let's
cook
not-
inside of a room. That might go poorly.
Yeah.
Well,
That might go poorly, especially if there's an ice laser that might, like you.
Boom.
Fire detected. Ice laser. Fire. No. So what? Right.
So-
Perhaps the baked sweet potato with the beef stew and could I get that with some roast tomatoes, please?
Is this you just saying what you'd like?
Yeah, basically.
We
If,
can
if
do
those
the
are
sweet
options or equivalencies.
Sweet potato and the beef stew we've got, yeah. We don't have any tomatoes in. We're waiting for a shipment from up north. Bit colder down here. We
fair
do have a roasting of various winter roots that could work with that. Alternatively, we have had some fresh mushrooms come in and something
Ooh,
similar
could we
like
maybe that sounds good. Perhaps make a mash with the. It's possible to have the root vegetables as
Yeah.
a mash.
that. That should be fine. And
Right.
is this for you or your kid?
That's for the kid. For
Alright.
me, I don't care what, as long as whatever you think is best.
Which otherwise points to the special. Today's special is, surprise, surprise, a rack of ribs with barbecue sauce.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what? 100% down with that.
Okay.
Kat, I will let you, share in the ribs as well. But I just want to make sure you get some greenery into you.
Look of unimpressedness on her face.
Young lady, you will eat your food and you will like it.
Okay.
Pout with mortar.
You're going to go and pout in the suite with Mortar. Okay.
Yeah.
So as the two teenagers
Mortar's
begin to
just-
pout in the suite upstairs,
Mortar's just posted up against the window, just looking out over the city.
yeah, with the suite you have a full kind of slider window, which you can otherwise sit on the balcony and have a look out if you wanted to. You have a good view of the
Yeah,
city below.
absolutely.
It's a very nice view. You're in one of the higher spots up here. Being this far up and close to the Titan, it seems to be a very open area by the looks of it.
Yeah. Mortar's stepping out on the balcony then, just looking out.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay. Is that with advantage, or...?
Yeah, that'd be, well, it's dark out tonight, and with the weather getting worse, it would just be a flat roll, I think.
Okay.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
You look
My
out
bonus
across
being a million.
a million. So that'd be like a 32,
Oh,
I think. So looking
Yeah,
out,
like a million.
looking out across the city itself, you can see all kinds of bits for the lay of the land. You can see residential areas, will be pubs and taverns that have been opened, beginning to close as midnight's drawing close. Seems to be a late night city for the most part. You can see kind of bits of glowing here and there. You see what looks to be more of these guards individuals travelling around as maybe one or two. But you note that the ones inside the city seem to be accompanied by large ice elementals. As they're otherwise wandering to and from, you can see that one of them has what looks to be a kind of almost like a crystal that's following behind them, like behind their head. And as they are wandering, you can see there's this large kind of hulking ice elemental that slowly steps through the city behind them. Much larger than Pterodor. Pterodor's a large creature. These elementals are huge creatures.
Yeah, Mortar kind of just looks at that and just pictures Cat summoning like an ice elemental and stuff, and he's going, "That's freaking awesome."
Give it time.
He kind of sits down on the balcony and summons his sniper rifle and just holds it. And just kind of like fiddles with the safety, just flicking it on and off, just absent-mindedly while the party figure out what they're doing.
I'll say, Cat, you kind of wander up after pouting as for being told you're not allowed to have sweets for dinner. You see Mortar otherwise sat out on the balcony, just kind of flicking the safety on and off.
Yeah, go out to the balcony. Just
Hey.
stare at him.
Hey, how you doing?
Still don't really know or understand or know how to process what happened. By the way, I
me
don't know
neither.
if anyone said, but good job not killing yours. You did well. Pretty well.
And then I proceeded to threaten nearly every other guard in the building. So, one step forward, two steps back, as they say.
Characteristics are hard to change. I mean, I'm kind of one step forward, no steps back.
Yeah. Hey, you point at your arm, the black arm with the bones and all that shit, and he goes, You need me to rewrap that, or are you okay?
You know that the bones have receded at this point.
Yeah, she's not furious. I think so, it's okay.
I see.
No, it's okay. It's badly wrapped, but she just, at this point, is tired. Doesn't care. She's got enough things on her mind.
Of course. You should get some sleep. I'm going to be taking some watches tonight. So, you get
And
yourself some
after you've
rest.
stolen some timepieces, you're gonna keep an eye out.
100%.
In fairness,
There's a good fence.
I do plan to sleep. I'm going to keep Jeff on watch as well, though. I mean, he doesn't really need to sleep, and he sleeps on my back when we're not doing anything, so...
Do we have any? Do you know if we have any more information on who this person Vinny is looking for? Like a characteristic we need to look out for, or something about Silver Dragonborn? I think.
Yeah, off the top of my head, it's been a little while. Yeah. I think the first call tomorrow morning is going to be finding maybe a library, something along them lines, or a Pioneers Guild are the ones that have the maps and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
we're looking like cartographers and stuff, right?
Maybe a Pioneers Guild or something. They might have some information. We probably have to
Also,
pay
if
for
we
it,
can,
but-
well, if we can go to a library and get some blueprints of the city, from a long time ago, I'm sure we can find where temples were erected. That shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, it's true. True. So, we've got an idea. Also, if you delve into Vinny's mind when it comes to it, if he
I
wants.
get the feeling I'm going to be less than welcome.
Well,
I think my recent behaviour has definitely caused favour for me being here to shift pretty dramatically.
I don't think so.
So, once you see things through another pair of eyes, you become aware of these things, and I don't think I'm going to be here long.
Cat puts her hand on his shoulder. Yeah. You're fine. You're gonna be here. Romulus has said that you're part of our family now, our party. Multiple people have said this. So, you are. And I don't expect you to go, oh yes, amazing. Over time, you might come to. But should Vinny require your help, Delve, I'm coming with you.
Alright.
Maybe between the two of us, we can hold off what's in there stopping us from getting to his memories. If we can help Vinny with his story, that's one massive step forward.
Well, you're
We've got
back
this-
and you've got mine.
Yeah, we got this together. Also, I made a gun, so we've got some target practice to do at some point. By the way,
Mortar looks at Cat. His eyes, well, you wouldn't be able to tell behind the goggles, but you can tell his eyes are wide from that. He's like, whoa. Can I see?
no, because it involves me getting my fire elemental out, which might be a real bad idea in here. So,
Mortar chuckles to himself. Fair enough. Gun made of fire.
yeah, pretty much. So, but yeah, Like- I'd like to get to know you a bit more. Know you for who you are, not for your actions.
I appreciate that. But I think right now, like you say, now we've got to focus on Vinny and how he wants to handle this. I just hope he's being forthright with everything he's telling us.
I
Has he
genuinely
always-
would be.
Has he been trustworthy since you've known him? I don't know next to anything about him. He doesn't really talk about much.
I've known Vinny a very short-ish time, but I've known him, and I think I've got to know him pretty well. He's very honest, he's very open. You know, he always looks for the better in people. I mean, I wish I could aspire to as well, but I don't think he's leading straight. And if he is, it's definitely not intentional.
That's the thing about liars. They're very good at hiding their intentions. So I do hope that your assessment of Vinny is right, and I'm choosing to trust in your assessment of him, since I have no frame of reference whether to trust him or not.
Cat turns around and taps the head. I've been in his head. From what he's told us, the bits that I've seen, it does correlate.
Right. Okay. We'll go with that for now then. And something about that encounter just doesn't sit with me.
Looking at the party, I
So
don't think it sits with anyone. That was a
People
low
have seemingly, people have just moved on very quickly from the possibility that it may be something other than what we're currently focused on, and I can't help but think that there's something more to it that we're missing. It was a well-planned assassination attempt. I feel like maybe the next thing we need to do is while maybe the others are focused on finding this library, is finding out who these people, the cloaks, actually are. I don't like not knowing who my enemy is.
Yeah, I can understand that. Though I personally don't have any idea where you'd start. I mean, unless a memory that's been removed or was locked away in Vinny's head has some answers. But that's something we could possibly pursue.
I have some connections with some mercenary parties. I don't suppose that they would run in those circles, but it's possible, and they may be able to lead me to a informant that maybe I can, I don't know, persuade into helping us.
Okay. Well, I mean, you're better equipped at an investigation than this. It feels a bit out of my scope. Gestures to your gun.
Oscar smiles.
But
not at all. All of this is good. All of this is good training for you. So, I would personally recommend taking lessons from someone who's a little more stable and not prone to going against the party's wishes.
Yeah, sometimes
Part of the reason.
perspective is good.
It's part of the reason why I miss working on my own. I don't have people to worry. I don't have anybody thinking about my own self-preservation. Even I don't think about it. I just do. And it's so freeing to just act in the moment. Whether the consequences are good or bad, it just feels good to just be. It's kind of why I don't really like these cities we go to. I prefer simpler life, where if you don't move right, if you're not fast enough, if you're not strong enough or smart enough, then that's it. It's over for you. I miss that. I feel like these towns and cities, I feel like I'm losing my edge. And that scares me.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, we never really spent much time. I mean, they never spent much time in big places like this. And my worry was always, where am I going to play today? But, well, here we are.
You used to play?
Of course I used to play. I
What'd
used to
you
play
play?
hide and seek with the excavating people and the builders. They loved it most of the time. Until they told me to stop because it was dangerous. But
I bet I can find you.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's no one else here. Why not? It's just us. Mortar stands up, changes his gun into Black Scorpion and holsters it, turns around, covers his eyes, begins to
Okay.
pack.
Cat's gonna try and hide in the room somewhere.
Make me a stealth check with disadvantage, because this is not designed for hide and seek.
No, she's massive.
You also, Kat, you also have like magic and shit you could use if you wanted to.
She doesn't have any magic that does this.
Yeah, it's only on to self.
You just cast Fireball on him with it when his back's like.
Yeah, no, she does the classic because it's a caught off guard. Hide behind a curtain. Hide behind a curtain, but the curtain is like halfway up her knees, so you can see her feet sticking out.
Yeah, and it's being currently held to cover the back half of the horse, so it's just kind of a triangular held out curtain, with the bottom half not covering very much. Mortar, I'm going to ask you to roll a perception check with advantage because you have your goggles. If you roll 2 natural ones here, you do not find Cat. It's doable. I've done it before.
It's doable. We've been
No,
there.
you're fine.
No.
You otherwise have
I
a quick... You otherwise look out
Yeah.
across the balcony, kind of counting, and you say, "They're ready or not, here I come," and you turn around, and as you're kind of mid-turn around, you see the cat. You see Cat's legs right next to you from the curtain for the window which you have just walked through.
Mortar will just smile, and he's just going to stand at the balcony and wait for a good 5 minutes before finally coming in and tapping Cat on the shoulder, going, "Gotta say, definitely make things difficult."
Make me a deception check.
With a disadvantage, perhaps?
No.
No, Cat's very oblivious to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Cat, roll me an insight. I want to see how this goes.
Oh god.
Alright, so persuasion, you said, yeah?
Deception.
Deception.
Oh, deception, sorry. Okay.
That's all right.
Cat's insight is not.
So what's that, Cat? That's a...
That's 8.
Okay.
There's no way.
Yeah,
That's
more.
like a 12.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not bad. I think it's my turn now.
Yeah, go on then. And
We
Cat's
don't
gonna
have
go
to
out the
roleplay
balcony
this
and
one
look
out,
out.
Chris.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine. You otherwise play hide and seek, and we will turn to Damian. Damian, you're out walking through the street, otherwise looking for this place.
Yeah,
It's not, this way station isn't far from the left rib. You otherwise arrive at what looks to be a rather large open warehouse. You can see that it has walls that you would expect, but there are what looks to be kind of 2 very clear openings that go from the street directly into what looks to be a place called the Hoof and Horn.
Okay.
You otherwise take a kind of a walk inside, and you can see that this is a stable inn. You can see there's a bar set up where individuals are currently being served drinks. You can see that there are stable pens where people have all kinds of beasts of burden that are currently sheltered here. Most of them, you know, are autucks or yaks, kind of large,
Right.
large furred creatures. But you do not see any horses here. And as you kind of walk in, you can see a few individuals kind of take note of the horse, and quite a few kind of raise their mugs to you before kind of going back to their to their
Brave
business.
man. Or stupid
I will
horse owner.
What you get from this is a mix of being very brave, bringing a horse out to out this far south. However, you also get a hint that your status as a Knight of Paloon is welcome here.
Yeah.
Historically speaking,
I've already managed to gather during this session.
historically speaking, you don't know much about the Ice King's domain, and Knights of Paloon don't come down here very often. But for some reason, they know who you are. Like, they know that you're a Knight of Paloon. They recognize insignias and stuff. Probably because not many people go around in plate armor in the cold, but you know. But as you otherwise head over to head over and you can see what looks to be a rock gnomish individual, kind of short brown hair as she otherwise looks over the countertop. We got a free stall over there, number 36. You're welcome to obviously stay there. Straw bunk and stuff if you need a place to otherwise rest. We got washrooms around the back for you and your horse.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right.
What details do you need, and how much?
Otherwise, kind of, just the name of you and your mount, and 2 drinks is usually the payment for it. Otherwise, I don't charge for the way station. People come through all the time, and quite happily, it's a place to keep your mount, and for those who want to sleep here with them.
Awesome. Okay. Damian.
Right.
And sorry, I was about to say I'm Starlight.
I like to believe that.
This
I
is
like-
Damian, and I'm Starlight.
Yep.
I like to genuinely believe that in his
The
awkward
twist.
sort of encounter, because how he is.
Oh my god, we've finally got proof that it's actually the horse that's in control.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling you.
it's
man.
like Damian. All right, and now your
Make
name.
Damian take mounted combatants.
The
All right.
plot thickens, indeed.
So the horse is called Damian, and your name?
Oh, no. Sorry, I think I got this the wrong way around. My apologies. My horse is Starlight, and I'm Sir Damian Dalasenos.
Ah.
Over the crest.
Pleasure to meet you, Sir Day. But obviously, 2 drinks will be the payment. That's usually what people go for, and yeah, your stall is over there.
Thank you.
You can see what looks to be 3 Orcan individuals otherwise sat at one of the tables. As you kind of pass by, one of them kind of goes, "You're welcome to join our table if you want somewhere to sit and talk or want to play any card games. Be nice to hear the adventures from North."
Yeah, I'll be happy to. I'll be 1 second. I'll just make Starlight at home.
Of course. Otherwise, go and takes Starlight over to the stall. You can see that it's fresh with hay and what looks to be a bucket for if you want to put any fresh veg or anything in there. You can see there's also one for water. And
Four Granny Smith apples go into that.
4 Granny Smith apples, they disappear almost instantly. And
Yep.
you head back over to the table. The Orcan individuals kind of deal you in. And one of them just kind of goes, "So, a night this far south. What do we owe the honor?"
Oh, right. My proficiencies is playing cards. Yay. I had to check. I had to check that. I thought it was the case. I had to check.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assisting a quest with some fellow travellers.
Ah, fair enough. And that's all? You just come in on a quest?
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't been this far south before, so I'm also getting a gist of the landscape and everything.
Yeah, fair enough. Don't see many of your kind down here that's this far south, but makes sense given your horses aren't really bred for the cold.
No, I am a little concerned about my horse.
You'll be fine. You can get plenty of winter blankets for your mounts if you need to.
Ah, superb. That may be... Did I get anything for Starlight? I didn't, did I?
No. I believe you had a...
No, so that'll be a priority.
Yeah, I believe the winter blankets aren't that much. I think they're like a gold for them, so...
Yeah. That'll be something I'll have to do.
Otherwise, deals out a few cards, plays a few games. Do you ask them any questions?
Given how late it is, probably not. No. I'm going to buy the 2 drinks for the person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to buy a round of drinks for the table as well, because, you know,
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm a good person. We're playing cards.
I'll say go ahead and give me 2 rolls. Add your proficiency bonus, so it'll just be a +3. And I'll base these off of these. So the first one, you're trying to beat a 10. Yeah.
21.
So the first one, kind of playing around the cards, you win the first round. There's no there's no betting here. It's just they're playing cards for fun and kind of having conversation. And the second one, you're trying to be a 21. Oh, they got really good on that roll.
Wow, 2 blackjack rolls. I like it.
Okay.
14.
And second one of the others kind of wins, and there's a moment of cheering before you otherwise head off to bed and to rest. The rest of you otherwise get your food and drink. The milkshakes are brought to those who have them, along with any food. All paid for as part of your board. That's quite alright. And those of you who want ribs have ribs. As you otherwise proceed to get ready for the night to pass and take your rest. I assume
Cool. I
Lehman's
cast
tiny
lock state on the doors.
lock state on the doors. Lehman's tiny hut in the room.
Mortar's
The party takes
Mortar's by the window taking first watch.
Yep, party takes a rest. You go from there. Damian falls asleep in the stable with Starlight, and Damian, you are fine. As are the rest of you. There's nothing to worry about. No random encounters. And you wake up in the morning after having another full rest, and the day is before you. And that is where we will end the session for tonight. After a stressful encounter, the party have found themselves resting quietly and nicely in an inn of Ovok Gro, a frozen titan city. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.